Hello, everybody. It's now Sam. Hopefully, I have taken this over. Let me just update everything my end. I just want to make sure that this is all coming through. Give everybody a chance to get onto the new segment. I can already see that I've got Sharon waiting, and I will bring Sharon in shortly. I just want to give everybody a moment. Let you guys in the background, Hillary and everybody, sort out. Fingers crossed I've done it okay. And I'm just checking. Let's have a little look here. Yes, people are saying they can hear me. I'm a little bit nervous, purely because it's new technology. I'm fine chatting, got no issues there. It's just getting all this software in place. So I'm here in my craft room. I've been here since this morning when we started, and I kickstarted the craft along with Lou, and I done a lovely scrapbook layout. So all of this is going to be available for you to watch back, and I know that Craft will be doing their things in the background as well.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Thank you.
Hold on, let me just turn that down. Right, I'm all there. So just for everybody joining here, thank you for taking time out of your day. Thank you to all of the wonderful designers that we've got joining us this morning, now, and also into the afternoon. It's for a fantastic cause. So it's for the DEC Ukrainian Humanitarian Appeal. I can't believe how much we've already raised. So I've come in with 2,813. So let's see what we can do whilst I'm doing this segment. So I'm going to bring in the wonderful Sharon. Let me just bring you onto the screen here. Hello, can you hear me okay, Sharon?
Hi, yes I can. Hi everyone.
I can't hear you. Let me just check. Oh, no, it doesn't seem to be at our end. Let me just, can't see, you're not muted my end. Is
I'm
there
not
anything?
muted. Oh, yeah, no, my mic's working.
Oh, let's just have a little look here. Let me just come off. I'll just take my way itself away a minute. No, that doesn't make any difference. Okay, I'm not sure what's happening here. Let me just...
My mic is on my end.
Sorry, Sharon. I take it you can hear me.
Yeah.
Can everybody else hear me? Let me just bring up the chat as well so I can see what's going on
Pamela
here.
can hear me.
I can hear Sharon. So people can hear Sharon, but they can't hear me. So have I been chatting the whole time and no one's heard me? Is that how it's been? 2 secs, guys. Sorry about this. Apparently there's 2 lives going. Okay. Okay, let me just bring in Sharon. I'm just going to pop you back out 1 second.
Yeah.
Okay, bear with me a moment, and I'm just going to bring in the. Let's have a little look here. See, this is what happens when you have a crafter doing the technology. So I can't see. Oh, there it is there. So let's just pop in that for a second. No, we want that one. That's the logo. Okay. Let me just join 1 minute, guys. Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Am I live?
Yeah, you're live.
Okay.
Is your sound all right for you now, Sam?
Yeah, it seems to be fine. It's just like
I'm back. Can you hear me now?
yes, I can hear you. It's fine. I don't know what's happening. Everything is fine. I don't want to take anything away from you. I'm going to let you crack on. Do you need me to give you a moment to flip your camera?
Yeah, I do. Just
right.
2 seconds and I'll flip my camera.
So we've all seen your face, Karen. So sorry, Sharon. Thank you for that. That was just a little glip at the beginning. So I'm just going to bring myself back on, just take you off for a second so you can flip your camera. Okay, so hopefully this is all coming through fine. I'm just going to update again here Apologies. Thank you for everyone hanging around there for a minute. Yeah, so that's all okay. So you have a few ways to donate. We've got the Just Giving link, which is going to be below. You can use your PayPal, Apple Pay, credit card. And we've been recommending that if you've maybe set yourself a certain amount to donate today, then break it down into small chunks. Because every time that you donate within each demo, you will be in with a chance to win some wonderful prizes. And I know I'm going to bring in Sharon now so she can chat, and I'll come off the screen in a moment for you, Sharon. So you've got some wonderful products. We've got a Paper Discovery Moroccan Nights bundle worth $64.99, which is fantastic. So let me just bring you in to the big screen there. So can you still hear me okay there?
Yep.
Perfect. I'm going to now come off. If you've got any questions or anything, I'll come in, but it's over to you now.
Lovely. Hopefully you can hear me over the rain. It's absolutely...
Is that what that is?
Yeah, bucketing down, typical.
Oh, gosh. No, we can hear you fine, don't worry.
Lovely, and I'm just peeping underneath because I can see that I'm on the right. Let's bring in a bit more light. So I thought I'm going to follow everyone else really and stick with a bit of a sunflower, blue and yellow colour scheme. And I've made a couple of cards actually because I thought, backup plan really, because I'm going to make this one. But if there's a bit of spare time, I'll show you how I did the background for this one because it's a different look on the same kind of theme. So hopefully this rain will stop because it's very noisy on my shed roof. So to start with, I've got some watercolour cardstock and I've cut that to be the same size as my card front, and that's going to give me my background. And I'm going to use an embossing folder to give that a lovely wood grain effect. I'll mention briefly the products I'm using, but I'm not going, this isn't a sales thing, just in case anyone's interested. This is the Tim Holtz Lumber embossing folder, and that's what I'm going to use for my background. So because it's a 3D embossing folder, before I run it through, I'm just going to give it a spritz with some water. Then I'll pop that in. And let me move these out of the way and bring my machine into view. Apologies if this is slightly off camera. It's a bit hard fitting it all in. So I'm just going to run that through, and I'm going to run it through and back again because these 3D embossing folders are there's a lot of detail to them.
You're okay there, Sharon. Everything's fine. We can see and hear. And yeah,
fabulous.
Right.
Thank you. There we go. And that has come out beautifully, and it's a really lovely background, this one. Really versatile. There are lots of different ways you can colour this to get a really nice wood grain effect. I've got some scraps of cards, so if we do have a bit of spare time at the end, I can show you some different colourways. But obviously with this being for Ukraine, I was really keen to kind of go with a bit of a blue for the background. And I do like that kind of look of, it's like wood grain that's kind of been a bit sun bleached and a bit, like peeling paint on it. So to get that effect, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some Distress Oxide spray. This is Salvage Patina. And I'm going to give it a bit of a spritz all over.
Sharon, everyone's commenting about the rain.
It's really, really, really heavy at the moment.
It's nice when you're indoors though, isn't
shower.
it? When you can look out and watch, it's nice to be indoors.
Yeah, it's really, really coming down heavy. Probably it's been fine all morning. Of course, the 10 minutes that I need it to be quiet, it's really coming down. So I've just given that a spritz with water because I want to get it moving about, and I'm going to use my heat tool to just spread that around. I do want some white areas because this is all going to show through the brown and give that kind of bleached wood effect. So don't be too heavy-handed with the spray. You do want a bit of white, but I have got a big old area here, so I think I'm just going to put a little bit in the bottom, a little bit of water just to get it moving.
So is this your kind of crafting, Sharon? Getting your inks out? Is this your kind of crafting, getting the inks out, getting a bit messy?
Definitely, definitely. Yeah, I do like, I wouldn't say mixed media. I'm more of a clean and simple crafter, but I do like to bring in different techniques, definitely.
Yeah.
So give that a bit of a dry. You do want to make sure this is dry before you move on, because I'm going to bring in some other colours, and I do need this to be dry. So I'm going to add in just a little bit of speckled egg. This is just a distress spray, not the oxide. So this is going to give a sort of more of a darker blue. And I'm only adding a little bit of that just to darken a few areas. So we'll dry that off.
So thank you again for everybody joining, and we've got lovely Sharon here now, so she's doing a demo for us. Remember, if you would like to donate, then you can donate through the pinned link, which should just be below the video. You can donate as little as £2, and every donation within this segment will be entered into, well, Hilary in the background will be choosing a winner, and you can win a wonderful prize today.
I cannot believe how noisy that rain is. So I'm just going to dab that off, because for the next step I do want it to be dry. Now at the moment that really doesn't look like anything special, and the magic part really is next, and I'm going to bring in some distressed crayon. I've got ground espresso, which is quite a dark brown. You can see on my finished sample, it's, oh, that rain's easing off, thank goodness. You can see that's quite a dark brown. Obviously if you want a different look you can go for a lighter brown, but I quite like the dark. It's a good contrast against that bright blue, and this is where it really looks messy. I'm just scribbling this on, and because it's got a flat tip, it's just picking up the sort of wood grain where the embossing folder's got raised areas. So I'm just doing it a section at a time, and what I'm going to do is put a bit of water on my craft mat and dip my finger in, and that's going to allow me to move that colour around. If you add too much water you'll just get solid brown, so be quite sparing with it. You can always go back in with more crayon as well if you want to. I feel I've gone a bit heavy-handed there with the water, so I'm going to try and not add quite so much this time. And this is going to give you a really realistic look with kind of little bits of blue, little bits of white peeking through. It's a really nice effect.
I'm loving this. I mean, sometimes I think you forget, you know, how things work together and what they can create, because I've not thought to use the distress pens like you're using them there, so I think that's brilliant.
No, absolutely, and I'm not going to take the credit for this because I did actually see Tim Holtz do it, so I'm not going to steal his idea. But
we put our twist on them though, don't you think? I think we see the ideas. Yeah.
And how many of us have had all of the distress crayons because we have to buy everything and then you never use them because
you like me, you have to have the whole collection.
Yeah, you have to have all the colours. I'm definitely guilty of that one. I'm terrible, especially with the distress products. Yeah, so by giving it just a scribble here and there and smudging it a bit, it really does give a realistic look. Now I'm going to give it another quick blast with my heat tool. And flip it over as well, just to make sure it's nice and dry. And that's when it really does start to look like proper wood grain. And obviously you can mix this up with different colours. Be quite creative really. I've done some before where I've used like a pink in the background and a grey for the sort of crayon, and that's a really nice kind of faded wood look. So definitely have a play around. So that's going to give me my lovely wood grain background, and I'm going to add a bit of stenciling to this. So I've got this is a Tim Holtz stencil, and what I'm going to do is lay it diagonally across but I'm going to have my florals here. So really I just want a bit of detail kind of in this top corner and then this bottom corner. I'm going to leave this area clear so that I've got a nice area to stick my florals. So I'm going to use, you can use any dimensional paste for this. I've got the Sizzix one obviously because I do a lot of work for Sizzix, but any paste. And if you want to, you could even use like a crackle paste or a coloured paste.
This is the kind of stuff I love now. I'm watching you really closely now because I like to see the reveal.
Yes. Now, of course, I'm not working on a flat surface here, so there's a good chance this won't be perfect because I'm holding it down and it's not flat. So there's a good chance it will seep underneath a tiny bit, but it kind of doesn't matter for this look, really. I have picked a stencil that's got quite a nice lacy design because I quite like that sort of feminine feel against the sort of rustic wood.
Yeah, obviously I love that kind of, that real delicateness against that grunge.
Yeah, the laciness with rustic wood. So I'm just going to do the top corner and then the bottom corner, like so. You might find if your distress ink wasn't completely dry, you might get a bit of colour seeping into this. If you do dry it properly, then it should stay white.
Oh, that looks wonderful.
It just looks nice against the wood, doesn't it? And I think it kind of helps make the wood look even more realistic in a funny sort of way. Now I am going to clean my stencil straight away. As Sarah was saying earlier, whenever you're using paste with a stencil, you do kind of want to get it off your stencil straight away because once it dries, it's much harder to clean. If you do let it dry, one tip is just some hot soapy water and then a toothbrush is really good for getting it off. But it's far easier to clean as you go. Now that won't take long to dry, so I can just pop that to one side while we do our flower die cutting, and then hopefully by the time we come to assemble this, that will be dry enough for us to carry on with it. So I'll just pop that to one side.
Perfect. Whilst you're just doing that, just to give everyone else a little update. So we are sitting just under, not far off £3,000 so far, which is just amazing. We've already exceeded what we thought we were going to be taking, and we're just starting the second segment. So it's absolutely amazing. So thank you so much. And just wonderful what everyone's doing today and coming together.
That's amazing, isn't it? Really, really good. I have to say thank you to everyone at Craft Stash for arranging this, because I know everyone's been saying it already, but you want to help, you don't know how to help, and having a reason like this to get involved with something is great. So I know Lou was saying as soon as everyone got the email, they replied straight away, and I definitely did. I thought, great, something I can do that's productive and helpful. And
because you sometimes feel bad that you see it on the news, and then you go to do your job, your crafting, whatever it is, and you just think something doesn't feel right.
No, absolutely.
So what can we do to help? And this just seemed like the right thing, and it's sharing our passions and hopefully just spreading something positive, because we don't always want to watch the news, although we want to know what's happening. So having this on all day, you're giving to a good cause, and you're also feeling inspired. And
absolutely. And it's lovely. It's lovely when we all work together, regardless of what companies we work for, or, as John said, which TV channel we're on. It's just lovely when we can all do something together.
Because at the end of the day, it's the one thing we have in common, isn't it? That we all love crafting, regardless of what else goes on.
Absolutely. So I'm going to die cut my flower. This is a Sizzix set called Bold Flowers, and I thought that this one here was quite sunflower-like, and it has got this fabulous centre, which definitely makes it look like a sunflower. I'm not sure it's meant to be. I think it might be a gerber or something, but today it's going to be a sunflower. So I've got some watercolour cards, and I'm going to die cut all of these. Let me just bring my machine back across. I do need to cut this sprig as well, but I can't fit it on this sheet, so I'll do that separately. And I'm using watercolour cards because I want to colour these myself. I could have used coloured cardstock, obviously, but because I've got that really rustic looking background, I want a watercolour look. And of course, by painting it myself, I can get the exact shade of yellow that I want. So we'll just do this little sprig as well. Then I can move my machine out the way. There we go. Thank goodness that rain has stopped.
I couldn't believe how loud it is. I mean, sometimes I know when I do a live, my desk is right by the window, so it can get very loud, and you don't realise how much it can be picked up on the, the other end. It
No,
was
absolutely
very loud,
wasn't it? Thank goodness it's just April showers and it's not kind of here for the afternoon.
Oh dear.
All right, so let's just pop all these pieces out, and this is going to give me a lovely floral spray to arrange over that wood grain, and hopefully by the time we colour these, that texture paste will be dry enough for us to handle it. This one's a bit delicate, so I'm being a bit
always
careful.
one, isn't there?
Yeah. I've also just had my nails done. I haven't had them done for the whole of kind of the last couple of years really. And I thought, oh, I'll get them done because I'm at Create and Craft tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I'd forgotten quite how difficult it is picking things up when you've got false nails
used
on.
to, doesn't it?
Yeah. I must admit, I got it done yesterday thinking that'll give me a couple of days to get used to them again before I have to do my shows tomorrow. So, leaf. I love the fact that these have got a nice sort of curve on them, which does make it.
Yeah, they're really pretty.
easier.
I love all the detail as well. It's surprising, what it's picking up even from me looking down there. You can really see all the detail in the leaves and.
Yes, it's a nice set.
and
This
stuff.
one. I am a bit of a sucker for florals. They're definitely my favourite dyes.
You can't go wrong, can you? And everybody loves the floral cards. So.
No, absolutely. And the thing with florals as well is that you can never have too many because you can always mix and match. There you go.
And turn them into different flowers as well. There's been quite a few times when I've needed, I thought I've needed a specific one to be that flower. And then I've thought, actually, if I just change the colour, fold the leaf a little bit differently or the petal.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I had quite a few options actually when I started looking through all my dyes yesterday, thinking what's going to make a good sunflower. Because Sizzix do a big dye that's a sunflower, but it's quite big, and I knew I wanted to do a bit of a technique in the background, so this one was perfect. So I've got Distress Oxide in Scattered Straw and Gathered Twigs, and these are going to be the perfect colours to create my sunflower. So we'll start with those, and I'm just adding some water and painting those on. I've used oxides because I do like this sort of chalky finish you get with them, and I think with that wood grain background that's kind of going to be a nice look. And I am going to layer the colour a bit, so that's the first coat for that. I'll just rinse my brush and give this centre a first coat of that one. This is quite a nice brown. It's definitely a sort of on the yellow scale a bit, so it's going to tie in nicely. So I'm just going to quickly dry those. And then I want this to be a bit more textured. It's very kind of flat. So what I'm going to do is smush it in the ink that's already on my mat.
We love that term, smushing.
Smush it, because that's going to give it a bit of texture, because you'll kind of get hard lines. You can also, if you want to, add just a little bit of water, because that will react with the oxides and it will kind of give a bit of a hard lines kind of thing. I'm going to do the same with the centre. I just don't want it to be solid colour, because obviously if I wanted solid colour I could have just used some yellow cardstock, so I do want it to have that look of watercolour. So I'll give that a quick dry, and as that dries you'll see I've got that texture coming through. The other thing with forcing it dry with the heat tool is that it does give it a nice curve already. You can see it's curling up a little bit, and that's kind of going to save me messing about with paper sculpting tools to give it some shape. I'm just going to add a little bit more on, a bit more texture, and same with the brown, and then we'll dry that off and then we can move on to the leaves.
Sorry Sharon, just to interrupt whilst you're doing that. So I've just done a quick update and we have hit over 3,000 now, so £3,006. So we've hit another target, which is just amazing. So
That's
thank you everybody.
Fantastic. Thanks everybody. That's amazing.
Wonderful. We've still got quite a long time to go yet. So
yes, I'm looking forward to spending this afternoon watching in the background. So I've got my leaves. So the flower I'm really happy with. It's definitely got some nice texture, and you can see in the centre of the flower it's almost got some yellow speckles where that oxide ink's reacted. So I think that's going to look really nice against the wood grain. So for the leaves, I think we'll go with a bit of shabby shutters, I think. I don't want too strong a green, and I think this will be quite nice. I can always bring in a bit more of a stronger colour if I feel it needs it. But this is a good starting point. So I'm just going to wet my brush and I'm going to kind of dab it on this one because this is quite delicate. It's the easiest way to paint it, really. There we go. And the same for this one. Like so. And I love with the oxides that as they kind of react, you do get other colours coming through.
They're wonderful, aren't they? I use mine nearly every day. They're just you never know what's going to happen with them, but they're just
you don't.
I really hate them, but everyone seems to love them.
And you never know really what colour's going to kind of come through, do you, when you wet them? So again, I'll give those a quick dry. Yeah, and you can see there's definitely some other shades coming through. I think I'm just going to add a tiny bit of blue. So I'm going to put a little bit on my mat. And just on this one, because I think that's going to kind of give it a bit of a eucalyptus kind of feel. If there's a bit of blue coming through. Don't want all three leaves looking exactly the same. So just thought I'll darken up that one. And then I'm going to just dot a bit more on this one so that it gets a bit more of a speckled look to it. This one I like, it's kind of gone more yellowy. So I've got a bit of variation there because obviously leaves in nature aren't all the same, are they? So let's give a bit of variety. So again, quickly dry those, and that's going to give me the added benefit of curling them up a little bit, giving them a bit of shape. And when you're doing this, make sure you flip them over because they're inevitably wet on the back. And so many times I've forgotten that and then gone to put them on my cards and got green ink all over my cards. So make sure you do, just flip them over. There we go. So I think they're all dry enough. How are we doing for time?
Yeah, we're okay. Let me just double check. So we are, where are we sitting at the moment? So you've got another 6 minutes.
Perfect.
All right.
Perfect. Gosh, that's flown, hasn't it?
I know, it does go quick.
It's always difficult when you're planning to think how long, you know. And that's why I thought we'll do backgrounds if I run out of time, if I've got spare time. So I've got my card blank, and I'm going to be careful in popping this on because this is still a little bit wet. So rather than put tape on the back of that, I'll put the tape on the front of the card. It saves me having to flip that over. Like so. And what I will do is I'll give that a quick blast with my heat tool before I pop the flowers on, because that will also, with the texture paste, you do quite often when you heat it with the heat tool, it crackles a little bit, which does give it quite a nice effect. if you want that sort of effect. Obviously, if you like it smooth, then don't, let it dry naturally. But I quite like it with the texture paste. It starts bubbling up a little bit when you heat it. So let's pop that on the card front and just line it up. I can always trim it if it's not quite straight, but that looks about right. And I'm going to be careful the bottom corner because I don't want to smudge that paste. Same with the top. And I can see it's just a little bit wet, so I'll just give it a quick blast. Just to dry it off a little bit.
So again, just want to say thank you everybody joining. Make sure you share this live, because when we change between the segments, obviously we see a dip because people then are trying to find it. We would have loved to have been able to have done a, you know, one big long 12, 13 hours, but unfortunately there's not many platforms that allow that, so we have to break it down. So just make sure you share this out to everybody, get them all joining. Numbers are slowly coming back up again. We'd love to get back up to where we were just before. So, and again, let's do one more little update before we start to come to the end. So yeah, still smashing that 3,000. We've got the next target is 3,500, so hopefully we'll get to that one soon.
Fantastic. So I've put my sunflower together and I'm going to pop the sunflower on with foam pads so that I can then tuck my leaves underneath easily. So I'll just put a couple of foam pads on the back. It's nice to have that dimension as well, but it does then mean I can tuck my sentiment and my leaves underneath. And I think that yellow looks lovely against the wood grain. So then I can work out the placement for my leaves. Now I'm going to use, I grabbed some Tim Holtz stickers, and I was kind of looking for something that would fit, you know, with the sentiment for today. And I thought Hope is Never Lost would be lovely and kind of goes with this theme for today. So I'm going to pop that just here. When you are putting a sentiment where you've got a focal point, if you have it too low down or on its own, it kind of looks like it's floating. If it almost is overlapped slightly, it will look much more cohesive. So I'm just going to have that almost touching the corner of that flower, so it's kind of anchored to something. And then I can arrange my leaves around that. So it's always a good idea, once you've got your flower down, pop the sentiment on before you do the leaves, because then you know what gaps you've got to sort of fill with the leaves. So that one curls nicely, it can come away that way. And then I think this one's going to tuck nicely there, because this is a big one, so that's going to be perfect at the top. So I'm just going to put a few dots of glue, tuck that in like so. You can always trim as well. This will fit quite nicely under here, but if I needed to, of course I could always trim the stem down. Perfect. And I'm going to be careful with popping this on because that paste is still just a little bit wet. And then this one here is going to fit perfectly. So we'll just pop that in that corner there. There we go. So that's the finished card. I'll bring in the one I did earlier because I used a different colour sentiment on that. And you can see they're quite similar.
Oh, they're lovely. I just love the technique that you did with the embossing folder. I think it looked fantastic.
Yeah, it just really gives a realistic look, doesn't it?
And it helps that all pop as well, like you said, the white on top. It's just so many different techniques and textures and all sorts on there, and it looks wonderful. It's really nice.
Absolutely. Now, are we about right on time, or do you want me to?
We are, yeah, no, that's,
yep.
We're okay. We've got a couple of minutes. So we've got a winner for today. So let me just have a little look here. So the winner is, let me just pull up here. So we've got Chris Bunce. It can't get better than watching great demos and giving to a great cause at the same time. So congratulations to Chris.
Well done, Chris.
Yeah, you've won a wonderful bundle. So as we mentioned at the beginning, thank you to Sharon for joining today and giving you know, her time for the Craftathon. Any donations you want to do. I know lots of people have kind of given themselves a budget, I guess, and then they're breaking it down and donating small but often across all the different demos today, and that way you get a chance to win some of the wonderful bundles, just as Chris has done. So yeah, thank you for taking your time out. I mean, what will you be doing now for the rest of the day, Sharon?
I'm at Create and Craft tomorrow, so I'm going to be packing my car when it stops raining. But I'll be watching the rest of the day in the background, that's for sure.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, we've got another wonderful demo coming up next. So I'm going to say goodbye to you now, Sharon. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks
and I'm just going to thank you so much. But first of all, let's just listen to Lou and remind us why we're doing what we're doing today.
Thank you so much for joining us today in our Big Craftathon in aid of the DEC Ukraine Humanitarian Appeal. 44 million Ukrainians find themselves in a situation that is unthinkable and urgently need help from the global community. While we think that there may be little we can do that is of direct and practical help, we can assist the DEC Humanitarian Appeal by using our craft to raise money to provide shelter, food and water to people fleeing the conflict. So we'd like your help by sitting back and watching some wonderful crafters who have given up their time to provide you with hours of crafting entertainment. And all we ask in return is that you donate what you can via our Just Giving account so we can raise as much money as possible for this amazing humanitarian appeal. Just Giving is easy. Simply use the link provided to donate the amount you wish. You can pay by bank transfer, PayPal, credit or debit card or Apple Pay. And don't forget to tick the box for gift aid if you're a UK taxpayer. The crisis cannot have failed to move you as the news brings us harrowing scenes of what's happening both in Ukraine but also to the thousands of people forced to flee their country. For us, the story's a little closer to home as we have the privilege of working with Olga Direktorenko, the designer behind Paper Discovery, herself a Ukrainian national who has been forced to leave her country. Well, we are elated to say that Olga and her children have now found a safe haven by travelling across Europe. We want to raise as much money as possible for Olga, her countrymen and women, so please give what you can. Your donations will be so appreciated. Thank you.
So hello and welcome everybody that is joining. So now we have got the wonderful Helen. I'm going to bring her in a moment. She's going to be doing some wonderful crafting with us all. So are you enjoying it? We've been here since 8 a.m. and we've had some amazing crafters join us and we've still got some really, really good ones coming. So I cannot wait. I'm loving this. I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm really enjoying it. And it's just lovely seeing new techniques, old techniques, being reminded of different things. I know I'm feeling very inspired, so I hope you are too. So as you just saw in Lou's video there, we are doing this in aid of the DEC, the Ukraine Humanitarian Appeal. We have already raised over £3,000, so we've already exceeded what we thought we were going to make today, and we've still got many, many hours to go. So stay tuned, dip in and out. You know, we've all got our lives and different things going on, but if you've got some time to stay with us, then we would really appreciate it. We've got over £1,200 worth of prizes that have been very generously donated from all of the different designers, and also you'll be able to donate after today. We're keeping it open and we'll be announcing the kind of grand total on Friday when we do our Craft Stash Live. So if you are at work and maybe you're watching this back, you will still be able to donate if you want to. So I can see Helen is waiting in the green room there. So I'm just going to bring Helen onto the screen. And let's just flip this over. Hello, Helen, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I think everything seems to be working for me now. How are you? It's so nice to see you.
Good, thank you. Yeah, I've got my window open. It's a nice day here, but if you hear my chickens, they might be a bit noisy during the live. So
we love Helen's stories. We love your stories about the chickens. Are they out now? They're not.
No, there's still the avian flu at the moment, so they're still in like chicken lockdown. So they're in their little enclosure, but they want to come out, but the weeds are starting to grow. They need to eat the weeds, really. So
So can you tell us a little bit what you're going to be doing today?
yes, okay, so I have some new products here, and this is going to be a preview for what's coming out at the end of the month. So it's a brand new mini album die, and we have some lovely tools and things to go with that too. So this is one of them just here. So I'm looking forward to
might have had a
sharing
sneak peek when we were up in head office at that one. Helen's got some wonderful product.
Yeah.
We've got exclusive Simply Made Crafts windows and frames collection, binding kit and craft paper, which is up for the prize during this segment, worth over £125.
Oh, that's really good. Yes,
That's
so I'll
really
be
good.
showing you all of those once we move over. So I'm so
Fantastic.
excited.
So remember to donate during this segment if you would like to have a chance of winning that wonderful bundle that Helen's very kindly donated. So do you need a minute for me? Do you want to slip, or are you able to do that?
I think I could just quickly use my mouse just to switch over.
There we go. It looks like it's
there
doing
we go.
something.
Oh, that's a little bit dark. So
Oh yeah, we can just see it now.
yeah, I think that's my camera setting. So could you give me a moment while I try and fix those? And then
Yeah, no problem. I'll just take you off the screen a moment. I'll be able to see when you're ready. So again, I'll just let Helen just sort that camera out for a moment. Again, welcome everybody. Share the stream because we have to break it down into 4 kind of segments. So I know that when we left the morning one, it's taken a little while for some people to re-find us again. So just share the link. I've just shared it over on my page, and yeah, share again. But like I said, the numbers are coming up. Let's do another quick little, let me just refresh the Just Giving page. So we are currently over £3,000 in donations, which is just fantastic. It's going to make it's definitely going to make a difference. So thank you to everybody that's already donated. So what are you all doing today? Write in the chat. Tell me what you're doing. If you are crafting whilst watching, if you're just watching, spending the day watching the lovely craftathon. I know I'm trying to do a little bit, but I was panicked when I done this changeover that it was all going to work fine. So I have got some things around me, but I'm not really able to do them too much. So I'm just going to enjoy watching what Helen's going to be sharing with us. What's been your favourite so far as well? I'd like to see. Tammy says she's just watching and chilling. Let me bring up the chat here a minute. We've got, so Kai, is it? You're working from home. You've got it on in the background. I think there's quite a few of us doing that, aren't they? Working from home, making some cake toppers. Oh, I like the sound of that. Just on lunch between working from home, still testing positive. Pauline, you've loved it all. I think it's I don't know, it feels really different, feels really good to do this. Definitely something I think we should we should do again. Loved watching Sheena. It wasn't that good. That's one of the ones that's got me very inspired, that technique, because I did do A-level art a long time ago, but it certainly inspired me to get the paintbrush out again. Okay, I can see Helen's stream now. It looks like she's got her picture back. I'm just going to give her a minute just to straighten everything. Just give me a thumbs up when you're ready, Helen, and then I can pop the screen out. Just go. I'm going to shut up now. I'm going to disappear and let Helen take over.
Okay, yeah, I am ready now. I had to literally switch over my webcam over, so I'm using the one webcam today. Sometimes I do get the gremlins. So where should I start, Sam? I've already done a little bit of prep here already, so I've got my pages.
Go for it. You take it away. You're here now until what have we got? Till 1:40. So you've got 35 minutes.
Okay, so the first thing that jumps out at you is going to be probably these lovely new papers. So here we go. I've already cut into the watermelon already. So here we have that one. That was a 12 by 12, but I've cut into it. So I've got loads of cut aparts, and this is all I have left from this paper pad. So you'll be seeing more of this throughout the show. So I'm just going to pop that behind me. I'm going to make a complete mess behind me, so you'll see all that when I go back on the front camera. Okay, so this is something I'm super excited about. Now, it comes in this pencil case. Now, this is a book binding set and the case. I just think it's really, really lovely. So let's have a look, see what you get inside. You get all of these lovely tools here. I'm hoping that you can actually see them. They are quite reflective, and they do have a nice kind of like a green, mint green tint. So it goes with all of the the Simply Made colours, we have that as well. And we also have this corner cutter. So if you are new to album making, you're probably wondering, what the heck is all this stuff? Okay, so we'll be going through all this in a moment as I work on a wrapped cover. So we're going to be making a wrapped cover mini album today. Now this one here is my favourite, and this one here is also my favourite, really useful tool. So this is going to cut the corners of your album once you have it wrapped. Actually, I do have a sample here. I've made some boards for the show that we'll be doing later on this month. So here we go. So this basically cuts the corner perfectly for you, and it leaves that perfect little gap there that you need to leave on so that you don't have an exposed corner. So this is a really useful tool.
So this is the binding kit, isn't it? This is what you could win. Someone
yes.
can win during the segment. So this is a fantastic prize. And
yes, so I'm really excited about this
I think
one.
it's wonderful.
And then we have the spacers here as well. I'll be showing you exactly how to use this tool. This is an extra spacer, so it does have two little ways that you can use it, that way or that way, depending on the gap that you want. Now these will give you the perfect gaps for your wrapped covers, because if you do them too tightly, there is a possibility that round about this area here, it can crack when it bends. So, and then we have this tool here that is going to help you cut the border around it as well. So I'm just going to pop these all back in the pencil case, because we're going to be starting off with the brand new mini album die. Now, if you guys remember how popular the MIDI mini album die was, we now have the same size, but we've now called it the medium album die set. And you may notice we have some brand new packaging as well. So we have, it's slightly different because we have included the binding system in there in the die set. Now, if you already have my binding system, the small binding system, this will work with that as well, but you just get the extra ones in there. So if you're completely new to this, you get everything in this set to make the one album, and you also get the choice here of changing the size, so you can have it the binding going along that way to make a sort of a landscape album, or you can have it full size and have it this way to make an album like it's very square, but it's slightly more portrait in that way. So you can have it that way or that way, and you can just trim down the binding to get where you want to go with that one. So I'm going to start off by making a page. So let's get everything out here. There we go. You get so many extra accent dies as well, and a couple of pockets too. So in this one you get 13 dies. Okay, so to make the page, you need to cut 2 of these main dies, and you need to cut 1 of those for the spine and 3 of these. And you will see on plenty of my other tutorials on my channel, this is the binding that we'll be using today. So these 3 strips glue on here. But in my latest mini album video on the large portrait album, I show you exactly how to make this one. But I will be making a completely new tutorial series for this particular die set as well. So I'm just going to pop all of these aside. There we go. I should have put these on a magnetic sheet really. Okay, so I'm going to be using some lovely papers, card from, I have the packaging here. This is all I have left. Okay, so this is called Aqua from Foundations card from Creative Expressions. Now, the one thing that you have with mini album making is that the unexpected things, if you're new to this, is you use a lot of cardstock. Now, that's if you're making the albums from scratch, or whether you're using the dies or anything like that, you're going to need at least 1 packet of cardstock. Buy extra just in case, because you can always add mats and pockets. And it's really nice when all the cardstock matches. So I'm just going to run this one through. You will be needing a large format die cutting machine for this one as well. So I'm just going to run that through. And another thing that it uses quite a lot of is tape, if you're using tape to stick everything together, or glue. So make sure that you don't run out halfway through your project. So the great thing about this is the way that we've done this die is that if you remember from the previous MIDI album die, it was joined together and you'd fold it together. So some of you may have that die already. This one will give you the option to have a pocket on the side or a pocket on the top. So quickly show you an example here we have the pockets on the side. So what I've done to make this one is I've removed the tab along the side. But if I wanted a top loading pocket, what you would do is you would remove the tabs on the top. So I'm making an 8-page album today. So I'm going to need 8 times 2 of these, which is 16. I'm just going to grab my bone folder as well. So what we have
Lots
to
of
do is
people
just
saying
fold
hello,
over.
Helen, and liking your new tools
Oh, yes,
as well
hello.
for the binding kit. So that's going to be it. Remember, anybody that donates within this time that Helen's on, you could win that binding kit. So if if you want to get your hands on it, there's a way. And yeah, so nice to see some album making.
Yes,
So like you said, we've got a nice mixed bag during the Craftathon. So thank you for doing this, Helen.
I absolutely love album making, as you may know.
How many do you think you've got?
Probably at least 50.
Wow.
I've lost count. I've been making them since probably 2015. So
Nice.
that's a very long time for me
That is.
to be doing that. So what I'm doing, I'm just getting my trimmer here, and I'm just cutting off the side tab there. I just need to go out a bit further. There we go. So I'm keeping the top tab, and my pocket's going to be on the side. So there we go. And I've got most of my pages already done. So hopefully I don't run out of time today, and I can get everything popped together today so you can see everything. Okay, I'm just going to pop this behind me. Okay, so I'm going to be using some Cosmic Shimmer here. This is my favourite glue. And I'm going to be folding over this one, the one on the end there. This is a lot easier to put together. So pop that down just like that. Set that aside. And I'm going to be adding glue to this one here. So I'm going to just do a little squiggle. I like my squiggles. And then I'm just going to do a line quite close to the score line. Just like that. I'm not covering the score line, but quite close. And I'm making sure I'm going straight into those little corners just there as well. Okay, so I have my piece of card there with the folded over edge. I'm just going to butt that up against the score line, not covering it, so it's able to fold. And then I'm using my grid mat here just to line that up. That's all straight, so I can now press that down. Because I folded this over already, it's in the right place now for us to just fold that over and glue that into place. So the great thing about using the glue is you can just quickly maneuver it if it's not perfectly aligned. If you use tape, once it's down, it's down. So again, I'm just going to add my glue, go across the edge. If anyone has any questions, Sam, could you keep an eye on the comments and just...
yeah, no, I'm looking at them all now. So
yeah,
anything that comes in, yeah, I will let you know.
Feel free to ask some questions. Okay, so there is our pocket page done. This is the side that gets attached to our binding, and in here we have a page, a place there for our pocket. So what I did is I went through all of the papers.
Brilliant. As you said, Helen, sorry, just to interrupt there. If you have got any questions, now's the time to ask them. So just pop them in capitals and I'll keep an eye out for you.
Okay, lovely. Okay, so all I did was I chopped up. You do get a mat here, I will say. If you don't like cutting mats, you do get a mat here for the pages, but it is quite an easy measurement. So if you want to just go ahead with your paper trimmer and just chop them up, you can just measure them. I'll give you the measurement already. I'm grabbing stuff now, so things might start falling. Okay, so we have here 5 1/4 by 6 inches. So you can easily get 4 from a page for this album. And again, I've got quite a few pieces of paper left over as well for that. So I could probably decorate 2 albums with lots of cutouts for this particular paper pad. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside now. We've done that. I can decorate that with paper once we've popped it together. So now we're going to start with the cover. So you can use anything for your covers. I'm using something called Greyboard in the US. It's you can find it under chipboard. Chipboard is something else in the UK. Chipboard is actually wood in the UK. So we call this Greyboard. So it's the kind of stuff that you would find on the back of like paper pads and notepads and things like that. If you don't have this, you can just use cereal box paper card as well. You can probably cut that in half. Sorry, cut it up. And then double it up, so that would make it a lot thicker. So I'm using 1mm thick grey board, and on this one I have covered this with tape, and I've just written the sizes here for you. That's upside down.
So we've got a couple of people asking some questions, Helen.
Yep.
Is this the new album? I have the others, but not sure if I have this one. And also,
Okay.
when will these be available? When can I buy those dies, says Lily.
Okay, so I think I'm on Create and Craft first on the 18th. I think it's the 18th, so keep an eye out for that. I'll be announcing that. And to the album question, yes, it's a brand new album, but it's the same size as the MIDI. But the die set is different. You do get different dies, you know, accessory dies in there compared to the MIDI, but it will work with that album, if that makes sense. So it will work with the accessories that are already in the MIDI album. Does that make sense?
Hopefully that's made sense. If you've got any more questions, just again, pop them in the comments and I'll ask Helen for you.
That's right. So this will also work with the MIDI editions as well. There's a bumper pack of editions in that set as well. So it's all the same size, so it should all work. So I've cut all these out. I've put the sizes here for you. And again, just if you're making this album again, you can either watch my tutorial that will be out at the end of April, or come back here and you can watch what I'm doing here. Okay, so I'm going to quickly move those aside. I'm going to be moving on to this lovely piece of white paper, which is a little bit more than a piece of paper. You may have, if you've been following me a while, you'll know that I like to use reinforcing paper. And this stuff here, I think I have, here we go. This stuff is pretty indestructible. It's the kind of stuff that you would make indestructible envelopes from, like that you send around the office, and other things that you put in the post, and you can wrap buildings with it and things like that. So you get 10 in here. So why is this important? It basically reinforces your album. I do have a sample here. There has been a landslide behind me, so I'm just trying to find it. Here we go. Right, here we go. So I've added this to the back. Now, that is going to create a really good, strong fold there. Because sometimes these albums can rip after a lot of use. So here we go. I'm going to try this. Look, you can't rip it. But the great thing is that you can cut it. And you can pop it in your paper trimmer and cut it to size. So I'm going to be using this, and you get quite a few in here. A pack of 10 will last you for ages. Okay, so I'm going to be starting off with this, and I've cut this to the album height, which is 6 3/8, and that's by 4 inches. Okay, so I'm going to pop this one on first. That's going to be in my center. So pokey tool. So I do like to work with double-sided tape. I know Craft Stash have just had in stock last week, which I have on order, A4 sheets of double-sided adhesive. So that is going to be absolutely perfect for making this album.
I saw that too and got very excited. I got really excited when I saw that as well.
It's a really good price as well. So we'll get a few of those.
Yeah. Also, some people are saying that, is it like the Tyvek? So I know it's like the FedEx bags, that kind of, you just cannot rip it at all, can you?
Yes, so this is actually really good quality. This is a lot thicker than the stuff that I've used in the past. Okay. I've had this in the past where it's been quite see-through, but this is actually very opaque and quite thick, but it's still quite thin as well. But this is really good quality.
Going to do the job.
Okay, so let's just get all of these out now so I can have a play. And it all fits all back into this. I think I might keep that on there. I quite like that. So, okay, so here we have the spacers. So this little T-bar tool here is going to be perfect for creating this space here. And it's going to keep everything straight as well. So here we have this board here. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to add a bit of glue just to this side here. You can use glue with this as well, with these reinforcing sheets. You can use double-sided tape. So I'm just going to take off this backing, and then I'm going to butt this up, hold everything in place, keep everything square and lined up. And I'm going to pop that on there. There we go. Now this one here is exactly the same size as that one, so you can pop that there if you want to. you can take that up and you can move that along. This is going to be really good for if you have trouble gluing things on straight and things like that when you're making your mini albums, or you don't know how much space that you're supposed to leave as well. Because if, again, like I say, if your space is too tight, then it's going to crack. The paper is going to crack when you fold it, when you close the album. So I'm just going to pop that on there. There we go. And then we have that. Okay, that is the basis. So if you wanted to make a ring binder, you can do that instead. So if you love to make ring binders and other sorts of albums, you know, you don't have to stick a bit of binding in the middle. You can get really creative. Okay, I'm just going to grab my huge piece of cardstock now. What I've done is I've popped together 2 A4 pieces together. They're joined together just with a bit of red tape down the edge of one of them, and I've overlapped them so they are like that. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab actually just a block. I like to use a block when I'm adding on my paper. Oh no, I have one out already. This is my favorite one. As you can tell, it's very well used and dropped on the floor. Okay, so I'm just going to grab my double-sided tape. Again, this will be a lot quicker if you had the big A4 sheets. So what I'm going to do, to give you a little handy trick as well. Why have I got my stamping block out? So I can cut this really quickly, just like that. It's actually quite fast using this tape. So, and then the last one. There we go. And now I have this tool here. Just push that all down. It saves, getting a little bone folder out. It just does a lot of the hard work for you. It just pushes it right in.
I guess that's good as well. Could you use that with a big stencil with some like medium?
Yes, you could. Yes. Just don't let your husband walk off with it for decorating. Make sure it stays in your craft room. Or significant other that likes to take things. I mean, my husband keeps taking my glue gun, so I'm tempted just to buy him his own. It's
like using scissors, your favorite paper crafting scissors with fabric. I mean, you just don't do it. So
exactly, mine are hidden. My big kahanas are hidden. Okay, so this is the front here. So we're going to pop it on just there. So I have this spacer tool now here, which is the L-shaped one. And so just a quick dry run here. I like to do dry runs first because it's a lot better than making a mistake. Okay, so we're going to pop it on like that, and this is going to be our border. Okay, so I'm going to pop that there. Try and keep it as straight as possible. Now, this is the risky bit. So if you need to stand up to do this, stand up to do it. I think I might have to do that too. Get all these off. Where's my pokey tool? Get all these off.
We've got somebody asking, where's the white tape from, Helen?
This is just white tape from Amazon. It's just double-sided, white double-sided tape. So it's a generic brand. So
I've also just done a update on the Just Giving page, and we are now on £3,299.
That's amazing.
So we are only a little way off our next target of 3,500, which is just amazing. So thank you, everybody.
Okay, there we go. That is now down. Very handy tool. So again, I'm just going to turn that over. Grab my little. I need to name this thing. It's like a squeegee, but it's it needs something a little bit more special than squeegee.
Helen's squeegee. The SMC squeegee.
Yes, the SMC squeegee. Okay, so I'm going to just grab. I think my blade's getting a bit blunt now, so I do need to kind of change my blade. So again, I've got my craft mat underneath, and I'm just going to go along now. Just cut that off. You can draw a line and use your scissors if you want to, or you can just draw a line and use your paper trimmer instead.
Just going to say again, all of the tools Helen's using are her new tools. You could actually win them if you donate within today's segment that Helen's doing the demoing. But everyone asking, all of these tools, they're part of Helen's new collection. So it should be out very soon.
Yes, I'm really excited about this. There we go. I'm hoping my blade's coped. This is probably where I should go to my husband's toolbox and take his Stanley knife.
Get him back.
If he's going to use my tools, I can use his, I guess.
Sounds right.
Yeah, I'll keep it. That last little bit there. There we go. Right. So I am going to keep this. I'm making a huge mess. Do you make a big mess next to you, Sam, when you craft? When you finish, you go, oh no, I've got a really big mess to fix.
When I do my lives on a Wednesday and a Friday,
yeah,
it's like a storm. A tornado's come through. Literally, when you just want that one thing, you pull out everything.
That's
just to
right.
find it, or you can never quite find it, and then it's right where it was, but you just, I don't know. But I'm very organised and I love tidying up though.
Yes.
So at the end, I love to put everything back.
Yeah, so it's a nice fresh start when you start again the next day. Make another mess.
Exactly.
Okay, so I have this beautiful mitre corner here. I love this, and I just love the green tint of it as well. Let me just move this. You can actually see the green tint there. So you're not going to lose it if you have a white background or anything like that. So, okay, so this does have a little bit of a notch here. So this is going to fit snugly on your board, just like that. So if you have trouble with this part, this tool is going to be absolutely perfect. So take my craft knife. Again, you can just use a pencil and then take your scissors to it. But that has done the perfect mitre. There we go. So we're going to do that on all of the corners.
Somebody's asking, will that work with all of your sets, this tool set here that you've got, all the
Yes.
other albums? Yeah.
Yes, so all of my mini albums can be used just with the ordinary cardstock, or you could make them into make a wrapped card cover like I'm doing now, and that will work on all of my mini album dies.
Fantastic. I'm thinking a gift for my mum, because I think she's going to love that.
There's just the opportunities here, or not the opportunities, the options. There's quite a few with this. So if you were making the wrapped album like this, you would need to have 8 pages. If you are just making everything out of the same cardstock or with different sort of covers, you would need to make it with 6 pages and keep these 2 end ones here for your covers instead. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so I've done all of my 4 corners now. So I'm going to go in now with my bone folder. I'm pulling new tools out now. This is how I lose things. Okay, so I'm just going to go around with my bone folder now and just going across here. This is going to help everything fold over. There we go. Turn it over. Go round again on this side. There we go. Okay, I've already put my adhesive on here, so I'm just going to add a little bit more to the centre. It's got a bit wonky, but that's all going to be covered. There we go. Okay, so normally what I would do is I would add tape all around the edge, but because my cover is on there, so not my cover, I've got the adhesive on there, it's going to be really easy to do the wrap. So I've recently just trimmed my nails off, so I can't pick things. I have to use the spiky tool.
So is this your favourite thing to make, Helen? The albums, they're your favourite thing to make?
Yes, I love to do mini albums. Also, I love to scrapbook. That was basically what started all of this off 20 years ago, was that I started scrapbooking, and it just literally I stopped briefly when I had kids. I stopped for probably about a good 5 or 6 years. But then again, I'm just going to fold this up. But then again, if you're not even scrapbooking and you're feeling like you're behind, don't worry about it. You're not behind. You're busy making the memories. You may not have time to document them, but you need memories to document. So
Exactly.
you know, don't worry about it if you're feeling behind. If you're busy making the memories, you know, just make sure that you're keeping everything in one place so it's there and ready for when you're ready to get started. Okay, so I've folded these two up already. So I'm going to start in the middle here, and I'm going to fold this over just like that. So I am being very careful here because I know the middle bit's sticky, so I'm not going to turn it over because it will stick to my mat. Okay, so that is the first one done. Turn that over. So I'm always working on the opposite side and switching over. So there we go. I'm just being very careful now just to get this pressed down. Actually, this one's a bit stronger for the smaller bits. So this is great for big areas, but for smaller areas, just use your bone folder just to press that in, just like that. So press that right down into the cardstock and the grey board fibres. I know grey board can be quite fibrous, so things can kind of unstick and unroll. So if you're ever worried about that, you can always add glue on there as well. That's sticking to me. Okay, so now we're ready to start working on these corners. So this is just the first stage here. I'm just folding these up. There we go. And now I'm just going to work on these corners here. I'm hoping if I might be able to just zoom in. You'll have to remind me to zoom back out again. I'm hoping
that's fine. Don't worry, I will do.
There we go. So I've got this corner here. So what I need to do is I just need to kind of flatten that and poke it inwards slightly, just like that. Same on this side here. Just kind of just flatten that in and push it right into that corner just there. This is going to be the secret to getting really nice corners that aren't exposed or with bits sticking out of the corners. Okay, so we're just going to turn that over. There we go. Let's press that down. Now, I do need to add a little bit of extra glue. So on these side pieces, you probably will have to add a little bit of extra glue under there. So I will do that just on this side there. So I'm just going to press that down. There we go. And do the other side. There as well. And I press that down.
Well, we just lost you for a second then. I've got you back.
Okay,
again,
so
but, you're
did
okay.
you?
Yeah, don't worry. You're all okay now. It might have just been my end, but I just saw everything went white. So, but we're all here.
Oh, okay. I'm back. Okay, so I've just done all of those corners now. So I know I've only got about 10. So I've got about 10 minutes left.
Let me just check what are we at the moment. Yeah, you're looking at about 10 minutes. It's 1:30.
Okay. So there we go. I've got those corners there. Do I keep coming in and out of focus? I'm trying not to. All of that camera setting. Okay, so
I'm streaming from my craft room. We're going through another app, then we're going to you. So it's going to be a little bit grainy, but it's still fine. We've seen everything perfectly.
Okay, I'm just finding my pieces of paper now that I've pre-cut. There we go. Right, I'm going to use these lovely watermelon ones. I love these. Okay, so these are cut to 6.5 by 6 1/8, and they're going to fit on there perfectly. But one thing I do need to do is I need to add some glue. I'm just moving that out of the way because that is still really sticky. So I'm just going to add glue all the way to the edge of that. Now these are perfectly cut to cover this perfectly. It's around about 13 inches, I think. So I've cut these to 6.5. So I'm just going to pop these on just like that. There we go. I'm hoping I got my calculations right. No, I'm not. So I'm going to pop that on there.
That's okay, because it shows people if we do that, because it's the kind of thing I would do. In
Oh
fact, I always
yeah,
get my measurements wrong, so it's always
I
good to see how people fix it.
I do. I measure everything wrong and cut it wrong. So yeah, that's why I do a lot of dry runs. A lot of dry runs here. But this is not a biggie. You can get by if you do this, because the spine's going to cover that anyway. So you're going to be absolutely fine. So that's why I didn't start in the middle and work my way out. So I've made sure all the exposed edges are going to be good. Okay, there we go. That is down. I'm going to pop that on there. Okay, so I'm going to get my bone folder now, and I'm just going to gently, really gently lift that up. So you can see that's a little gentle bit there. Actually, this tool might be good for this. It is quite a sharp, it's not sharp, but it's quite pointed at the end there. So don't press too hard, because you could go through the patterned paper here. So just lift that up whilst supporting that. So you should have that now. Apologies if I keep going out of focus. And then do the same on this one here. Just lift that up slightly and lift that up. There we go. I have got a little bit of lifting here, so I'm just going to add some extra glue here. This is where you kind of work out where you need to add your extra bits of adhesive, just to keep everything down. Okay, so now I'm ready to add my binding here. So that's going to pop on just there. That's going to cover that gap in the middle. So I'm going to pop this on with glue, and I'm going to get it on as straight as I can. Because I've cut this wrap cover exactly the same height as the binding, it's going to be really easy to get this lined up. So I can see my creases either side. I'm just going to lift this up so I can see that is straight. That looks straight, because if this goes on a bit wonky, you're going to have wonky pages. So that is on. So all I have to do now is just add my pages. So where are my pages? Okay, so I'm going to start at the back. So I'm going to start with the one I just made, which is just here. So I'm going to add glue now. So we haven't got too much time left. So if you do have any more questions, get them in now, and I'll do my best to get those answered.
You're okay. You still got because we've got our little promo video, the appeal video that goes in a moment. But that's fine. You still got about another 7 minutes or so.
Okay, that should be enough time to get this all down. Okay, so here is my first page, well, the back page, and I'm just going to slide that on upright first. Then I'm going to line it up with the back cover, top and bottom. That's going to give me a nice straight book, straight pages. And that will now close. If you kind of glue it up in this sort of position, it's going to want to stay like that. It's not going to want to turn like a book would naturally turn. So as I go through all of these, you're going to see all these little sneak peeks of all the other die sets that are available in the collection. So I will talk through those as we go along. So this one here, this one is a lovely shaped pocket that you get with the mini album die set. That's included. It comes with the mat as well. So I've got some 3x4 photo mats that are tuck in that pocket really well. So just slide that on, then line it up, and then once you're happy everything's there, you can just press that down. Don't forget to press the other side. There we go. Right, and I'm taking everything from the bottom of my stack. Now this is lovely. This is the Builder Page Sunshine die set, and you get loads of other dies as well. This one says "You Are My Sunshine." So I've used the negative pieces from that die to make the little sunburst. You also get a circle die in there, so you can cut out a photograph of your favorite person and you can just pop them in the middle there, or you can pop some wording or journaling in there too. So you can get really creative with that die set. So as we go along, there'll be some more of these. Okay.
Can't believe how quickly it all starts to come together now. Once you've got it all ready, it's pretty quick, isn't it?
So it's really good if you kind of decorate your pages before you pop them on. But just remember to keep them all in the right order. And then once you actually get them in the book, you're pretty much almost there. You just have to add your photographs or anything else extra. So this is my next one.
Everyone's really enjoying it, Helen. There's been lots of lovely comments.
I do love to make a mini album or two.
But when you've got the tools and everything there to do it, it does make it, just easy and more enjoyable, doesn't it?
So excited about this new toolkit. So it's for me, it's a game changer. So, okay, so let's pop that on. We're almost there. Halfway in getting everything on. So definitely, if you're new to this, use glue, definitely, because you can kind of like maneuver it around till you get everything in the right place. You can use double-sided tape. If you use double-sided tape, use the red stuff. It's definitely stronger. But yeah, if you're new to this and just need a bit of practice, definitely go for the glue first. I think this one's one of my favourite. This one and this one. These are my favourite patterns. I do like this one too. That's my third favourite. Okay.
Got about 2-3 minutes left, Helen. All right.
Okay, I've got 3 pages to do, so I'm
How's
just going to zoom through these. Hopefully, I want to get to that next sunbeam, so I can show you that. So, and then get my inserts in. So let's do some speed crafting now. So like
I'll leave you for a few more minutes.
Let's get that on there. Do you remember? It's a Bitsa from the 90s. It was a children's program after school.
I'd probably know it if I saw it again.
It was like they'd race against the clock trying to make something, and they'd have like boxes of junk and things. I used to love that show. It's like, oh, what are they going to make? Yogurt pots and weird like duct tubing and sellotape and glue. And yeah, I even remember the theme tune. I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure it's still on YouTube. Okay, let's get this done. So here we have the sunbeam here. There we go. There's the sunbeam. So absolutely love that. So we're almost there now, and then I can get my inserts in. So so this is the repetitive bit. So this will give you really good practice in getting everything straight. So once you've done this a few times, you're going to be an expert. So last page. And then after that, I'm going to pop my inserts in and in the pockets. Don't put everything on upside down. Upside down pockets are never fun. There we go. Pop that on. And there we have our album. Look, that's come off a little bit. I'll pop that on again.
I can't believe you've made an album in 40 minutes.
I know. I did a lot of prep work to start off with, but that is the easiest
you
way.
did the core of it. It just shows that, like you said, once you've got everything there, it doesn't take too long. That's wonderful.
There is our album with all of our pages. So now all I've got to do is pop my inserts in. So I have these. Again, you get these beautiful tabs here. So we've got a tab there, and we've got another shaped tab. If I can grab that. There we go. This is the longer tab. You've got a choice of 2 tabs there, and these will just slide in. Now these are going to stick out a little bit because of the binding here, but I like that because it just adds that little bit of colour poking out the edge. If you know, and you can decorate these as well. So not just for photo mats and things like that. You can pop in probably 2 or 3 of these in each pocket, but it would be an absolutely stuffed pocket if you did go to town with that. So I know a lot of people like stuffed pockets. So.
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, I've done it. I've made albums sometimes, and they've literally been bursting at the seams. But I love it.
A chunky monkey. I like the crocodile mouth ones as well. They're really fun because they're like you can't close them.
Whilst you're doing that, Helen, we've got a winner that has been chosen to win. So Helen is very kindly donating the new Simply Made Crafts windows and frame collection, the binding kit, and craft paper. and that's due to launch later this month. So you're getting an exclusive, and it's worth over £125. So, and that winner is, let me just go over here. So congratulations to Kim Costello. Your comment, Ukraine, you're in our thoughts and hearts. Just discovered this awesome event. Thank you, Craft Stash, and I hope us crafters raise lots and lots, Kim. So thank you so much, and congratulations. What a wonderful prize.
Well done. There we go. Yep, so I'm just quickly showing you everything here. So here is the sunshine die set. That's going to do that lovely starburst. We have the circles die set with the lovely circles frame. We have this lovely stamp set here. This is going to be really helpful with your journaling, and you also get the matching coordinating dies for that. We have another journaling stamp set as well. So I'm hoping you're loving the new packaging with the navy blue that's been added to it. And this one here, you'll have to join in for the launch of this at the end of the month, or more like the 18th. This is fabric paper. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you will know exactly what this is. This is a lot of fun here. That is what this album is made of here. So you can wash it. Obviously, wash it before you craft with it, and it will give you a different sort of look. It's a really sturdy fabric material, and it die cuts as well, so you can use these with your album dies. Makes a really good sturdy cover as well. So there is the fabric paper. So I'm hoping to bring this out in more colours.
Well, we have loved everything you've shared, Helen. Loved the demo. Like I said, lots of really nice comments. People enjoying seeing the album being built. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join the Craftathon. It's been really good fun. All right, thank you so much. So whilst we've got Lou Sims, lovely Lou Sims coming in next. So I'm just going to drop in our appeal video here just for anybody new joining, just to explain exactly why we're doing what we're doing.
Thank you so much for joining us today in our big craftathon in aid of the DEC Ukraine Humanitarian Appeal. 44 million Ukrainians find themselves in a situation that is unthinkable and urgently need help from the global community. While we think that there may be little we can do that is of direct and practical help, we can assist the DEC Humanitarian Appeal by using our craft to raise money to provide shelter, food and water to people fleeing the conflict. So we'd like your help by sitting back and watching some wonderful crafters who have given up their time to provide you with hours of crafting entertainment. And all we ask in return is that you donate what you can via our Just Giving account, so we can raise as much money as possible for this amazing humanitarian appeal. Just Giving is easy. Simply use the link provided to donate the amount you wish. You can pay by bank transfer, PayPal, credit or debit card, or Apple Pay. And don't forget to tick the box for gift aid if you're a UK taxpayer. The crisis cannot have failed to move you, as the news brings us harrowing scenes of what's happening both in Ukraine but also to the thousands of people forced to flee their country. For us, the story's a little closer to home, as we have the privilege of working with Olga Direktorenko, the designer behind Paper Discovery, herself a Ukrainian national who has been forced to leave her country. Well, we are elated to say that Olga and her children have now found a safe haven by travelling across Europe. We want to raise as much money as possible for Olga, her countrymen and women, so please give what you can. Your donations will be so appreciated. Thank you.
So again, thank you everybody who has joined and shared their time with us today. Thank you to everybody that's watching, donating. I've just checked and we are now, let me just refresh again. So we have raised £3,488. So we are just a few pound away from our next target. And we've had 547 supporters so far, which is just amazing. So You will be able to watch this all back. So eventually when this stream has finished, I know Craftstash are doing all their magic in the background. So you'll be able to watch some of your, favorite demos again. Because I know lots of you have enjoyed them. I'm loving it. I'm forgetting what I'm doing sometimes because I'm so engrossed in the video. But we have next got the lovely Lou Sims. So I can see Lou Sims is there. I cannot see any hands or face or anything. Lou, if you can hear me, if you can give me a thumbs up if you're ready, and I will bring you on. Again, share the link if you have it. Share this on your social channels. We can get this out as much as possible. And if you've got any questions, make sure you pop those in capitals as well. And I'm keeping an eye on the chat so I can answer as much as possible. So I'm just going to bring Lou on just to see if maybe I just need to bring her on, and then we can see what's going on. Hello, are you there, Lou?
I am. I've turned my camera around, ready to go. Or is it facing the wrong way?
It's
I can't
just
see the
grey.
camera.
I think, it's your ceiling. That's what we could see.
But it's not letting me change it round. Hold on.
That's all right. Let me just take you off. Let you do that a minute. It's the thing. Right. I can see Lou's face, but you're not on here yet, Lou. Don't worry. I haven't brought you in, so I'll let you just do that. So this is my craft room for anybody. I'm Sam. I'm helping Lou today, doing the emceeing throughout the day. So this is my segment, and I will be finishing the day. So I think I've got two. How many? Is that fact? How many have we done now? 6, 7, 8. So Lou is the 9th demo. So we're kind of getting halfway. We're pretty much around the halfway mark now. So yeah, it's been good fun. But let me know who you've enjoyed, what's been your favourite. Lou's now gone, so we'll just give Lou a minute to come back in. So I'm just trying to fill time now. So if I start to rabble on, apologies. So hopefully she'll be back in again in a moment. But yeah, let me know what you've enjoyed. This wonderful, what is hanging on the door? This is my ribbon. This is how I display my ribbon. So yeah, I've got lots of cool little, I guess, hacks. But yeah, that's all my different coloured ribbons on little curtain clips. So, I can see she's back again. So I just give her, she's laughing. So I can't hear you, Lou, because I don't want to bring you in yet in case you're cursing yourself. So she is. But yeah, that's my ribbon wall. We've got lots of paper and cards here. I've got some little mixed media art that I've made. This is my happy place. So, she's disappeared again. So, yeah, what else are we saying? So I must say I've learned so much. Do you know what? That's so nice to hear, says Kathy. You've learned so much. I have as well. I think just little tips. I loved John's tip with the tape, picking up your die and then kind of hovering it over and then placing it, because I actually do that a lot in my card making. So it's really nice to be able to remember and use that, because I thought that was brilliant. Kay said she got some great tips, yeah, from John. Love the ribbon collection. Thank you, Nikki. Benita, hey Benita, I've seen lots of regulars here, but again, share on your social channels. Let's get lots of other people in here as well. So Lou, do you want to come and say hi face to face and then maybe flip the camera? Well, now she's frozen, so let me just hang on. Now I can see out your window. Just move. No, that was right. I could see them. We could see out. Well, nobody else could, only me, but I could see out your window. So you've done something right then. You just needed to then move the phone. The joys of technology. Hey, I'm the worst, to be honest. This has taken me a while to get this all around my head. So you look like you're nearly there. I can only see your hand now. See the ceiling, Lou. But you did flip it just now, because I saw out your window. It's great. See, on this side here, I can see everything that's going on, and then I just control who comes in at what time and stuff. So, but yeah, she's talking to herself right now, so I'm sure she's getting really angry actually. Don't worry, I'm going to read some more comments. You're coping with the tech really well, Sam. Am I? I've got sweat down my back. I was a panic, and I didn't sleep last night. Neither did Lou, neither did Hilary. In fact, hardly anybody that's been behind the scenes doing this has had much sleep, because it's quite a big thing to do, and to just keep everything ticking over, really. So did you want me to bring you on, Lou, and just say hello? Or she's frozen again. So we'll just give it a minute. Thank you, everybody, for joining. This is all part of it. Sam, you are the boss now. Oh, I don't like that. I was a boss once, and yeah, it didn't suit me, I didn't think. Will the previous demos be available? Yes, Craftstash we're recording it, so they will edit it all down, and it's going to go back up so that you'll be able to watch it. It's supposed to be hoovering. So, oh no, don't hoover, Alison. No. Let me see if I can bring up the comments here just so I can see them better. Marie, hate technology. Yeah, it's been a fab day. It has, and I must admit, I've really been enjoying this. It's really good fun. So I'm just going to quickly flip. Let's just have a little look here. Do you want to bring me on the demo? Lou can jump in after my slot. Sorry, I'm reading out loud then, forgetting I'm live. That's the other Lou. Lou's got a demo coming up after Lou Sims. Yeah, I can't. Lou Sims, can you see? You're just frozen on your little screen. So I think we might bring Lou Collins on, if you're okay with that. If you're okay to be able to do maybe afterwards. If we just flip you two around, the two Lou's. And yeah, hopefully that will be okay, Lou Sims. So we're going to bring Lou Collins on now. Just flip you two around, because then you've just got a bit more time then to sort your camera out. Okay, so I can see Lou. Are you happy for me to bring you on now, Lou? Okay, so I'm just going to keep that one off. Let's just bring in here. I'm just going to flip us around. Hello.
This is a surprise.
So what are you doing? I can't wait for this one.
I was eating chocolate because it's my lunch break, but I'm going to be doing some paint pouring. So I'm guessing I'm kind of cutting it a bit shorter now, so Lou can jump on in my slot.
Yeah, I think we'll be okay. 5 minutes or so to run over. I think.
Okay, that's fine. I will switch my camera over if that's okay.
Okay.
Should be all set up and ready. Thankfully, I got ready early.
Oh, look at you! You are ready to go. Right, I'm going to come out. You know what you're doing and everything, and let's enjoy some paint pouring. I can't wait for this one.
I love that. Apparently, I know what I'm doing. Well, I was getting these ready, so actually, it's not a bad thing for you to see how I prepare the paint. I've got one ready there already. So, paint pouring is essentially using water-based acrylic paints in absolutely any colour, and kind of pouring them onto things. That's basically all it is. It creates a really beautiful marbled effect. Now, obviously, I have gone with sort of blues and yellows for today's theme. I've got my blue mixed up. Now, you can't just pour acrylic paint on its own, because acrylic paint usually, certainly if it's a good quality one, will be a little bit thick and it won't run. You want it to run off to the edges of everything. So you need to bring in, and this is just one brand, you need to bring in a pouring medium, and that's just going to thin up your paint so that when you pour it, it just slides around. It just goes in whichever direction you tip it. Now, today I have got, if we're going to get time, I've got two canvases. I've got a ceramic coaster and I've got a vase or a vase as well. So I've got those. Now, while I mix these up, these are usually, I try to go about 50-50 ratio of paint to pouring medium. Like I say, I did hope to have all of these pretty much prepared, but
sorry, Lou, I'll just come in and just say, because obviously we've swapped it around. So Lou's going to be donating, it's a Marabou pouring fluid and effects paint. It's a set bundle worth $47.99. So if you donate within Lou's segment now, you will be in with a chance to win this. And let me just give you an update on our total donators so far. So now we've exceeded our next target of 3,500. We're on £3,598.
Wow,
just incredible.
That's amazing.
So
I only popped out for a sandwich and it's gone sky high already. That's brilliant.
It's amazing. Right, I'm going to let you go.
Thank you. So thank you so much, everybody. It's absolutely amazing. Yeah, I really did. I just popped out to grab some lunch because I was here at 7 o'clock this morning. I must eat. And I've come back and it really has flown. So as you can see, I did about a 50-50 ratio of pouring medium to acrylic paint there. And I'm just using wooden sticks. You want to use things that are disposable. I know that doesn't really go along with being very green. Of course, if you want to use things you can wash, you can do it. You're going to have a lot of washing up to do. But there was about 50% paint, 50% pouring fluid. Now, what pouring fluid does is it allows your paint obviously to flow more easily, but also when it dries, it gives you a lovely glossy clear finish, almost like you're mixing your paint with a varnish. So now this paint here is a little bit thicker than this one for whatever reason. They're the same paints, but this blue one seems to be a lot thinner. So I'm just going to add more paint to that because we want all the paints to mix together and flow together at the same sort of rate. I will just I'll do a gold. Oh, well, we'll do a gold quickly. We'll mix some more up as we go. This is just a pearlescent paint. So you want the thickness to be kind of like cream, I suppose. I'm going to take a guess between single and double cream. Let's say single cream for this. I'm still hungry. I haven't finished my chocolate bar.
There's a few people asking, so what's pouring fluid? Is it water-based? Because I have no knowledge of this.
Yes. So pouring fluid, there isn't really anything that you can use in place of this. There's not really like a cheaper alternative or anything. So you do need to go for pouring medium or pouring fluid. This one, as you can see, is gloss. So when it mixes with the paint, firstly, this is going to thin your paint down, but secondly, it's going to give you that glossy finish afterwards. So when you see pieces that have been paint poured, it just means that you're going to get that lovely sheen to it, and it's going to be sort of splash proof. I won't say waterproof, but certainly splash proof. So you can see that I've mixed that one up and that's really gone quite runny. So I'm going to add some more paint to that one. You want that to be thick enough so that you do need to pour it. Does that make sense?
Christina's just in and she said that she did it on a really large canvas and it turned out fabulous and it's on her wall now.
Oh, gorgeous. Is that our Christina or
yeah,
lovely. She's still here. She was here with us early this morning. Still going. Yeah, it is a beautiful craft, absolutely stunning, and you can't go wrong. Anyone can do this. Now this gold, as you can see, has gone kind of creamy, but when it dries clear, so that way you're going to get that lovely clear gloss. You can also add in things like gilding flakes as well if you want to. So I'm just going to pour a few in there. Just put that into the gold one. We might add some more later. It does get messy, this craft. It's certainly not a clean craft. Right, now, you have a few choices when it comes to actually pouring the paint. I'll just do it on a canvas first because I've got two canvases to go with. I've covered my area, as you can see, my whole table with like a plastic coating, like a dust sheet. You can put newspaper down, but something else I'd recommend definitely is these trays. Now, these are just disposable roasting trays or party platters, something like that. You just want something that's going to catch that paint as it comes off of your surface, whatever you are doing it with. Now, also, I like to put a cup. So I've got spare cups here. Again, all disposable, but I'll wash up what I can. Come on, let's take one of these. Any one of these cups. It doesn't matter which one.
We're all Kate Heppel's in now as well. She's like, oh, I've not seen this done with flakes before. I bet that's going to be lush. We're all watching now, Lou, so it's all on you.
Oh yeah, thank you. I'm not quite mentally prepared for this, you know. I've got to remember not to do the host bit either and just do the guest bit. So you've got a couple of choices. Now we can pour this individually straight from the cup. We can use something like a funnel, which is really beautiful to put it all into and then gradually lift it up. Or we can do something called a dirty pour, where you put your chosen mixes of paint all together in one cup and then pour them on. I think we're going, should we do the dirty pour and just see how that turns out? It doesn't sound very nice. It is really nice. So let's start with the yellow. I think we're going to go more yellow with this. So I'm going to put in some yellow. There we go. Obviously, these will mix. It's a good idea as well. I have one here somewhere to keep a cloth to hand for when you get it on your fingers, because you will get it on your fingers. You will get it almost everywhere. Then I'm going to put it, it's a bit like making cocktails or something. You just want to pour it in there like so. That is probably, don't worry about that, that will get covered away. If I just lift that gently, can you see I don't want to mix it too much, but hopefully you can see there. And then lastly, I'm going to put my gold. Now I'm going to mix my gold. This isn't quite as thick as I hoped it would be, so give it a quick mix. This one's probably going to really mix in with the blue. You can see that mixing already. Now I'm going to take a spoon and I'm just going to bring the yellow up a little bit in places. There we go. Right, shall we see what happens with this? Now, with a dirty pour, usually you would just... Ready. It makes me nervous making all this mess.
I just wanted to show on my screen. I'm like this.
I've got a lot of paint here. There we go. And just allow... Can you see those gilding flakes all starting to appear in there from the gold? And as the excess runs off, that yellow starts to appear. We've got a nice green colour actually as well coming from this.
I love all the movement.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Just keep adding this stuff and take, you know, it's just brilliant.
Now, as you can see with a dirty pour, I'm just grip the edges. I'm just going to leave that so that that's facing that way for a moment. So it starts to run down to that corner. As you can see with the dirty pour, the colours will mix. So we have kind of got quite a green colour going on, but we've also got these speckles of the gorgeous gold flakes in there as well. They are so pretty. And you've got all of, look, I've got a little bit more. Shall we just, let's just put them on. Just allow it all to mix. And it's not a quick craft. It's something you need to have patience for. I'm probably the least patient person in the world. Can I get any more out of that cup? Now you can use your hands as well. So I've got a little bit there that needs filling. So that's the first version, a dirty pour. Now I can also start bringing this to flow into there more, and you've got all different colours. And when you see this up close, I don't know how well you can see everything. When you see it up close, all of the different shapes and colours appearing are beautiful. Now, as you can see, I've got it on my arms, I've got it on my fingers, so I have got that cloth nearby. What I'll do with that is I would lay that. You can keep allowing it to flow in whichever way you want to. So moving downwards, hopefully you can see that while I'm holding it, starting to move downwards like so. Look at that, just gorgeous. And that, can you see that gloss just on there, the reflection from the lights? That's what that pouring fluid does. It gives you that glossy effect. So that I will put again on a cup into, let's just move this cup into a box. I've got a box down beside me, so that gets that out of the way while I do the next pour. What I'll do is I'll also take photos of these so that with each one, when it's dry, I can show you a photo. Now, quick wipe. Maybe I should have wet this first. I'm glad I've now got a little bit of extra time afterwards, because I can go and wash up properly before I start doing the hosting job again.
There's a few questions. How long does it take to dry?
It does take,
how long can you keep moving it?
Sorry?
How long can you keep moving it around?
You can keep moving it until all the paint has leveled out as much as it's going to. If you're finding that you've got edges that it's not reaching the edges, as mine didn't in the corner, you probably need a little more paint. Right. Try just using what's left in your cup. And as for drying time, you're looking at probably a good 24 hours, sometimes longer. It depends on the heat of your room and things like that. So get rid of
Someone
that
said,
one.
Cheryl said she absolutely loves paint pouring. It's just such fun. And then we've also, where is it? Someone said they saw a dragon. Oh, here we go. Nicola, she said, love this. I saw a dragon. She must have saw an image in that.
Oh, yeah. See different colours and things. Yeah. Absolutely. Now let's just, I'll leave that tray there. Let's mix up some of this colour. It's absolutely beautiful. Now I'm going to do, it's kind of, when I picked it up, I thought it was a blue, because we're very much going blue and yellow today, and I don't think it's quite blue. It's more on the green side, but never mind. It's still equally as lovely. So I'm going to mix up some of that it's better with your pouring fluid because it's not inexpensive either. So if you're going to use pouring fluid, always save the acrylic paint you've made up with it afterwards. Don't go throwing any of this away because you want to use it as much as possible, and put in a little to start with and add to it. You don't want to put too much in to begin with. So single cream, lovely. You'll find different quality paints, different brand of paints will work differently as well. There we go. You can see how much looser that is than it was before, much more runny as such. And you can kind of gauge as well the way it's going to run on your project by how it runs down the side of the cup there. So there's that one. I'm going to use that yellow again. I've got lots of bright yellow left.
Sorry, Lou, there's a question from Vicky saying, do you mix in silicone oil to help make cells?
To make, sorry, cells?
Yeah, that's
yes, you can do. I didn't want to go too advanced with this today. You can put silicone oil in. Some people go and use other oils as well. It really depends. So, for example, if you were to use other oils, they can discolor over time. But essentially, what an oil will do is make the paint separate. Right. And create those cells look, all the different spots and things. So really, really a beautiful effect. Do you know what? I'm going to do this other one on the canvas as well, just because I can, because it's going to be a thicker paint and you're going to get a different look from this. I want to add some more dark blue paint to this. This was a bit runny, I felt, so I'm going to add some more to that, quite a bit more to that. And this time, rather than doing what I'd call a dirty pour, we're going to do a clean pour. Not that it's going to be much cleaner, but we're going to just do it step by step, a little bit at a time, rather than dumping it all on. And you won't get quite as much the mix as you usually would. So starting with the yellow, I'm just going to, as such, do a circle. There we go. Trying to get as little drip as possible. Then I'm going to go into that circle. You can already start to see it spreading. And then again. And I'm just going to keep repeating that. You see it's starting to come this way. That's fine. It can come whichever way it likes.
This is what I recognise. I've seen this on, like, you know, just watching programs.
Yeah, so the first one's a dirty... Sorry, the first one's the dirty pour, which is the easiest if you're a beginner, but you do get that mix of colours. So that may be enough. It may not be. Sorry, my lights just went off then. I've lights on a timer, and if I don't move for a little while, they go off, but a little bit more. Now, that's probably way too much paint, but let's see. Now, let's start moving this around. You notice how this time the paint is not mixing so much? Trying to keep that in view while see what I'm doing. I'll bring this down. I'm
seeing a geode. It's got that kind of...
Yes, absolutely. Kind of reminds me of your papers.
Cool.
Your sort of geode papers. And I saw they were on digital now the other day. I just happened to spot that. That was great. So just bring it to the edge. Obviously, I'm dripping down onto the roasting tin here. I'm using my finger just to catch any edges. I think I've probably got enough paint there. I don't need to add any more, but look at that. And because I used the greeny colour paint, was like a metallic. So for that one, I've got a bit of a silvery metallic sheen. Nearly filling in those circles.
So cool. I could see like three of those together, like in a bathroom on the wall or something. Look really cool.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, gorgeous. And if you had that, I want to bring it in the middle, but I want to keep it over the tray. So you've got you can keep moving every time you tip it. It's going to start shifting. You see that top corner shifting. Now you'll be able to tilt that for probably another 30 minutes because it's just not going to dry straight away. But again, if I do that, you can see that gloss, that sheen that's going to be on it when it's finished. And it's just going to be almost like it's got a resin coating over the top. That's just beautiful, isn't it? Just so pretty, all those different colours. I love it. Absolutely love it. Now I need to put that somewhere safe because I've also got some other things. You don't have to do paint pouring on a... Oh, it's going to go on there. Oh, you don't have to do paint pouring on a canvas. You can do it on virtually anything. So let's get rid of this one. I say get rid. I'm not going to just chuck. I'm going to gently place down and bring in a clean one. And let's see. Do you know what? These paints are actually quite thin. So I'm wondering whether they will work without putting thinner in them. Maybe not quite. Maybe not quite. Let's mix up a little bit more. Experiment with your paints as well. So I really love this gold. I'm going to the gold and blue. So this is a ceramic coaster. Actually, shall we mix? How long do I have, Sam?
Let's have a little check. What are we on now? So just 2:10. So we can. You still got until nearly 25 past if needs be.
Oh, okay. I probably don't need as long as that. I've got this in the coaster to do.
Let's have a little update on the fundraisers. So far now we're on £3,668, which is fantastic. So thank you to everybody that has been donating. Please make sure you share the stream as well. Share it on your social pages and get your friends involved. And yeah, just enjoy.
Definitely. So if you're donating in this hour, you get to win the Marabou kit, isn't it? And that's everything you need.
Marabou pouring fluid and effects paint set bundle. So yeah, you've got everything you need.
Yes. So with that one, you do get the paint, you do get the pouring fluid as well. People call it different things. So this one is pouring medium, pouring fluid. It's all the same. Should we do the funnel and see what happens with the funnel one? Let's just do. So I'm going to put it on there. So I'm actually going to almost seal the funnel. So this is just a vase. I'm just going to pop it upside down and work on it this way. I'm going to seal that, and I'm going to start with one colour. And as you probably guessed, we're just going to fill it all up. Well, that's mixed quite well. I wasn't going to do any yellow this time. I was just going to do it with the blue and the gold and see what happens. So this is a bit like a dirty pour, but you have a little more control over it because you're just going to gently lift up. Hey, there we go. So just lifting that up. Now, as that all settles, start to see, let me bring that into view, start to see those gold pieces coming through the blue. The blue is a strong colour, but I can tip that. I'm actually tipping it on the tray, and I would leave that on there for a while. Let's just use a spatula. That thick bit at the bottom would take quite a while to dry, so just let that pour off the edge. Just tap it, and all this paint levels itself out as well. There we go. So now we've got bits of paint. I need to pick this up, don't I? I do need to pick it up. And now I'm thinking, how am I going to do this? Because I'd usually just leave it here to dry. So I'm just going to put my finger on there and lift it. Put my fingers in there. There we go. Okay. Not messy at all. There we go. So we've got blue. It's when you look at it in real life, I suppose, you've got lights on it now. It's almost like a galaxy effect with the gold, the pearlescent paint, and the blues all mixed together. Now I think we need to do one more.
Everybody's loving blue, loving all the gold flakes and stuff. Yeah, looking really good.
Yeah, you can see them all in here because I had the gold, didn't I? I mixed up gilding flakes, and that's what all these little lumps are. I wish you could see it in real life. It's absolutely stunning. So now I need to put that down. I've got a lot of mess here, so it's probably a good job that I came on in this slot, to be honest, Sam, because I'm going to take a little while to clear up and finish my chocolate.
Well, everyone's enjoying it. Looks great. Another very pretty, cool look. Amazing.
Brilliant.
Lovely pouring, beautiful color combo.
Gorgeous. Amazing. Thank you. Let's just mix up. Let's do one more. How thick is this? I want to make this a little bit thicker. We'll do a nice, quite thick one so we can really control it. You can control it much more. Excuse me, I'm going to do the tomato sauce trick. There we go. You can control it a lot more when it's thicker. When it's thinner, you kind of just have to let it run wherever it wants to go. So there we go. Mix that up nice and thick. So with this one, I'm just going to get it on my hand. As it's the last one, it's just going to go. I think we might need to top that yellow up, to be honest, a little bit as well. Shouldn't need it because we've got lots. We've only got this little coaster to do, but there's going to be 2 canvases. One, I mean, see how quickly you get through the projects as well. 2 canvases, 1 vase, and a coaster. And you could do, obviously, you could do 4 coasters all the same. So let's just do these 2. So quite thick paint this time, and I'm just going to do little bits at a time. Oops, hold on to the stick there. They're just lollipop sticks, by the way. There we go. I'd love to know in the comments who's done this before as well. Should we pop a little bit of blue in there, just a touch, tiny little bit, because the blue is quite overpowering. So I don't want to put too much of that in there. But if you've ever done paint pouring before, I'd love to hear from you. What did you do? Did you do a canvas or something else? Whoop. Let's do a yellow. Whoop. And then one more. Probably way more than we need. I mean, that on its own looks really cool, doesn't it? But let's start allowing that. Let's go every direction possible. It looks like some weird alien eye at the minute. It'll be fine. It'll come through in a second. There we go. All starting to kind of merge, but in a good way. I'm trying to hold it so that you can all see as well, so you can see the direction.
We can see it well. I just don't want to keep coming in because my little screen's right on your area, so I don't want to put people off. But yeah, it looks great. So I've got, just here, there's a lump. I'm going to allow that to drip off. There we go. That's better because that was kind of dominating the direction of the paint. So here, because if I hold this now, tilt this way to try and get this bit covered, for some reason, there's probably a little grain in the ceramic that's stopping the paint from flowing on that. If I keep tilting it, the paint's going to come off here. I'm going to lose loads of paint and still probably not get that area filled. So I'm just going to kind of break the wall of the edge of the paint there to just fill that area in, and then that will flow over there. And the same, hopefully this corner will be okay. But there's nothing wrong with just using your finger, or if you prefer, just use one of your wooden sticks just to fill those areas in. You can go over the edge, or you can leave the edge as clean as possible. You'll probably never be able to get a perfectly clean edge with this. I quite like the over the edge look. So what you can do is when it's finished, pop it onto a cup, and the self-leveling aspect of it it'll run off the edges and it'll all tie in. So just finish this one. Hopefully that's not too bad a time for you, Sam. Yeah, we're all good.
Just finish that one off.
And I can see Lou in, so I'll be checking in with Lou in a bit. So I think we're all going well. A couple of people said, are there bubbles? But they're the flakes, aren't they? The little lumps.
This one is where I didn't mix the paint very well because I hoped to have it all mixed before we came in. So if you don't mix your paint brilliantly, obviously you're going to get little bits of lumps of paint. So that's actually where the paint's thicker, but you can kind of just disperse them, get a stick, or if you're a paper crafter, you're trying this for the first time, you can use a pokey tool.
So you can really play around with it and move it and just do what you want.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to stay wet for a long, long time. So don't worry about that. But that is so pretty, isn't it?
I love the shine.
Yeah, that's it. That's why I keep tilting, because you don't see that gloss, and that's what that pouring medium does. It gives it that finish afterwards.
It's like a lacquer, you know, those lacquer.
Yeah, it's like it's just like a glaze on there, isn't it? Yeah. So there we go. Hopefully that has encouraged some people to maybe get some paints out and make lots of mess.
It's been amazing. So I'm just having a look to see who we've chosen for our winner for this one here, and let's have a little update as well. Let's see where we are. So let me just do a refresh. £3,712. We've now topped up our target to 4,000. So that's our next benchmark that we want to hit. So thank you again. Just keep donating. As we've mentioned before, if you've given yourself kind of, which we know some people have, they've given themselves that budget over the whole of this kind of craftathon, and they're doing a minimum of £2 is what you can do. So they're doing £2 here, £2 there,
Definitely.
and it just means you've got a chance to win. So, which is fantastic.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining so far, and to those who have donated so far. I'm kind of out of the swing of this. I've had a lunch break, and I'm blah, blah, blah. I'll get back into it. I can sit back and relax and watch Lou now.
You can. Well, we've got our winner. So congratulations to Wendy Clark. She says, this is such a good event. Thank you for organising. We all want to do something to help the Ukraine and its people. Let love and kindness spread to the whole world through the crafting community. So congratulations to Wendy.
Thank you, Wendy. Thank you for your donation as well.
Aww.
Lovely. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you so much, Lou. So I'm now going to pop your little appeal video on, Lou. So Lou's going to explain exactly what we're doing here today, why everybody's come together, and we'll be ready for our next demo.
See you later.
Thank you so much for joining us today in our big craftathon in aid of the DEC Ukraine Humanitarian Appeal. 44 million Ukrainians find themselves in a situation that is unthinkable and urgently need help from the global community. While we think that there may be little we can do that is of direct and practical help, we can assist the DEC Humanitarian Appeal by using our craft to raise money to provide shelter, food and water to people fleeing the conflict. So we'd like your help by sitting back and watching some wonderful crafters who have given up their time to provide you with hours of crafting entertainment. And all we ask in return is that you donate what you can via our Just Giving account so we can raise as much money as possible for this amazing humanitarian appeal. Just Giving is easy. Simply use the link provided to donate the amount you wish. You can pay by bank transfer, PayPal, credit or debit card or Apple Pay. And don't forget to tick the box for gift aid if you're a UK taxpayer. The crisis cannot have failed to move you, as the news brings us harrowing scenes of what's happening both in Ukraine but also to the thousands of people forced to flee their country. For us, the story's a little closer to home, as we have the privilege of working with Olga Direktorenko, the designer behind Paper Discovery, herself a Ukrainian national who has been forced to leave her country. Well, we are elated to say that Olga and her children have now found a safe haven by travelling across Europe. We want to raise as much money as possible for Olga, her countrymen and women, so please give what you can. Your donations will be so appreciated. Thank you.
Okay, so welcome anybody that has just joined, or everybody that's just joined. Thank you for staying. If you've been here from the beginning, let me know. Actually, if you've been here from 8 a.m, we would love to know, what you've been doing and what you think. I'm having a wonderful time. It's really, really good fun. It's nice to chat to lots of like-minded people and to see lots of new. Well, not necessarily, some of them are new to me, and they might even be new to yourselves as well. I know they're not new in the world of crafting, but it's really nice to see a real mixed bag of different crafts. So I can see we've got the lovely Lou Sims. So I'm going to bring Lou in. Let's have a little chat. Let me just, let's just flip the screen and have us side by side. Let me just go back this way. There we go. How are you?
Frustrated. No, I'm fine. Thank you ever so much. I'm really pleased to be here. And I'm hoping when I flip the camera, it actually works this time.
Fingers crossed. Like I said, from everybody that's joined today, thank you so much for taking time out of your day.
Oh, no. I'm thoroughly pleased to be asked. No, it's great. Great appeal. Great to be asked and great to be involved with everybody. Shows how crafting, brings everybody together.
It is, and thank you for your donations. So Lou is going to be donating some stamps and some stencils as well. Oh, look, she's got them there. Show we can have a better look at them in a minute. Then when we flip the camera, let's just have a quick look at where we are before we start with our total here. So £3,717. Let's see what we can do during Lou's demo. So do you want to flip your camera whilst I take you to try it now?
Right, I'm going to have to stand on. I'm going to have to stand on steps. So
I'm going to hide you. There we go. Right. We'll let Lou, I can see her in the corner. So just give me a thumbs up, Lou, when you're ready, and we can go back to you again. So Lots of you really positive, really enjoying today. The demonstrations have been fab. Let's have a little look. Let me bring my comments. I've got to remember I can get them up on this as well. People saying hello to Lou. Great to see. Looking forward to the next one. Yeah, I can't wait to see what Lou's going to do. Who's that there? Linda, you've been here since 8:20 a.m. Sorry, that flipped back then. So didn't intend, but I can't stop watching. That's fantastic. Looking demo, really enjoying seeing everything today. The demonstrations have been fab, haven't they just? And there's still some really great ones to come as well. So yes, from 8 a.m. says Pauline. Kimberly just woke up, wanted to come and join for a little while before I have to go to work. Such a wonderful thing to do for the Ukraine. Also, congratulations to Wendy. So now Lou seems to have gone grey. It's your ceiling, Lou. So I'm thinking it's not flipped. I can see your bracelet. Now you're back to you. Oh yeah, if you keep going down that way, then I think, aha, there's her desk. But can you twist your phone? That's the next question, because it's upside down our end. Although it's facing your desk, are you able to just twist the mobile? Oh yeah. Keep going. Yay! Right, we've done it. Let me go on to Lou. Let's just flip this.
Yay! It's because it won't. Unfortunately, it won't accept the back camera. Right, so I had to use the front camera. So that's why. Yay! So I'm sorry.
Right, I don't want to eat into any more of your time, so I'm going to go quiet and I'm going to, let you take over.
I'm going to move across this way because then I can see you in the box as well at the same time.
I'm going to hide that away so then I'm not distracting anybody. But if there's any questions or anything asked, I will come in.
Okay, right. I thought we'd have a fun with a little bit of an art journal page using some of my stamps and stencils, and I wanted it to be a quick design. So I'm just going to put down blocks of colour in yellows and blues to actually begin with, and I'm just going to use oxides because they were on my desk. So I've chosen an art journal that one side is a canvas page and one side is an Indian cotton page, and it's a nice way to make the same sort of journal page but on two different materials. And I'm not going to be overly precious with my blending either. I'm not going for the perfect look, she says, hopefully. I'm just going to quickly put some colour down. And all the piece of paper here is, because I'm working on a material, I don't want it to go to the journal page underneath and stain it. And that is all that's there for. And I just want one more little bit here. Okay, so I'm just going to put that bit of colour there. And I just want to add a little bit of the darker yellow in different places.
So is this your happy place, Lou? Is this the thing you love
to
do?
It's a happy place, as in you can take it whatever direction you want. It's also, I think, art journaling is if you don't like what you've done so far, walk away, come back to it another day.
Yeah.
And that's why it makes it a little bit more of a happy place in that respect. I just want to add a tiny little bit of blue. Not much, just a tiny for the moment, because I want to do some other bits with the blue. And I'm going through, look, I've got it on my finger already, but we'll blend that out like that. They're gone. But that's the thing, I think, with art journaling is that, or any form of journaling that you want to do it how you want to do it. If you want to make perfect blends, make perfect blends. If you don't. I'm just, like I said, I'm just putting down a little bit of colour. And the only reason I'm doing the colour is it just allows my eye to have somewhere to focus and to anchor what I'm going to do next, if that makes sense. Right, let's just move you out of the way. I'll put you behind me. Right, so this is the base there, and I just want to now start building up some of the actual layers that I've got going on, and I'm going to use some of the stencils that I'm going to use in my giveaway, so we can see them. You can actually see some of the stencils in there, and I'm going to start layering up some of the colours that we've got on here, and just very, very quickly add in a little bit of texture and background.
So there's literally
and
no
I'm using
rules.
it. No, I don't think there should be any rules to crafting in some respects.
That's what I love. Yeah, definitely. I think that's what scares people sometimes. They think that they've got to do it a certain way.
Yeah, no, I was having a chat with Hayley West this morning, and we were talking about, and I'm not a sewer. I love sewing. I love seeing what people make. I don't think I've got the time to have another craft in my life, if I'm being honest. But and I was saying, it's amazing. You'll see different materials and you'll see different patterns on materials, and you'll look at them and go, there's no way they work. And I think sometimes as paper crafters, we get obsessed by the colour wheel. And then when I look at sewing shows and I suddenly see that you're going to put this massive floral pattern with something else and they're clashing colours, and suddenly they make a project and it all comes together. And I think that for me is how I treat my art journal pages. Not necessarily go for the colours that should work together, but go for the colours that I'm feeling that day. I hope that makes sense.
Oh, definitely.
She
Yeah.
said, or I'm just waffling.
No, it is. And I'm very much the same. I don't tend to, I kind of clash colours and just see how it goes. It's always a process, but I'm sure it will always come out, nice in the end. And that's all the joy and fun for it,
Yeah, and sometimes I think walking away from a project, sorry, I'm just cleaning my stencil by spritzing it because I'm not going to waste the ink on it. And I'm just going to then use it in the background in different places, because you pay your money for your ink, you might as well get as much out of it as you possibly can. That's how I go in my head. So I'm just cleaning it off in the background. So I'm going to start building up there, and I just want to now grab in the yellow and do the same. I'm not worried that there's wet here. I'm not going to use my heat gun at the moment, because then when I put other colours in, it then blends on top, and where the wet is there, I'll start getting some of it to move a little bit more. So I'm just going to stick to the same stencil, but I'm going to build up in the patterns. And obviously I'm keeping to a yellow and blue theme. There we go. And we're going to put some there. So all I'm using is where I'm putting the colour is where I put down my initial colour. And that's just giving me a quick grounding spot. So if I keep going over where I've put my starting colours, I don't have to worry about, picking things in random places, as it were. Right, let's do one little bit up here. And I think sometimes crafting quickly and not worrying is brilliant as well. Let's just clean you off because I'm not going to waste the ink. I'll just put that there.
What about
using cleaning your stencil off on your background?
Sorry, what about using the blue and yellow as well? Those colours that you would use together usually?
Yes, because if I always try and say to people, I'm lucky I have lots of inks and lotions and potions. Not everybody can get that. So suddenly if I use blue and yellow together, I can get a green, and I might not have a green ink, if that makes sense. Yep. So yeah, you can, obviously that I'm talking about the colour wheel there, so you can bring in different things along those sort of lines as well. Right, so let's build up this page. And I'm now going to stamp, but I'm not worried if I misstamp, because I want to try and make a background. So the background doesn't, if it's in the background, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's probably the thing that you want to see in front of you that you want to be more perfect, she says. So here we go. And working on the canvas just shows how the colour intensity on the white compared to the canvas. So mixing and matching your different materials that you work on, whether this could have been a craft card or something like that, will change the look of your project straight away. Right, let's just put that there. And then I'm just going to clean this off. So I'm just doing it outside camera because I have got electrics beside me. So now I've got a green where I've had the yellow on there. And oh, it's a quick way to clean off your stamps, which is what I'm going to do now. We're just going to bring that there. So I'm just cleaning my stamp in the background here. And let's just grab, instead of getting the heat gun on, even though I've got a quiet heat gun, we'll just knock some of it back that way. And it mops it up just a little bit more. Okay, so let's add a little bit more detail on. I've got about 100 stamping blocks out here because I thought, I don't know how many I'm going to need. So I thought, no, let's do more rather than less. And I'm going to try and be good and stick to the same sort of colours, the blues and the yellows. But I just want to now elongate my design in places. So let me think. Sorry, now this is where I enjoy. My favourite part of crafting is the faffing. as I call it, you know, where you spend that little bit extra time thinking about what you're going to do and where you're actually going to go with it. But I won't faff for too long today because I could be here doing that for hours. So,
I know the feeling. I can get completely carried away, and then people are like, "Sam, step away from the project."
yeah, I know it's really, really hard, isn't it, sort of thing. But sometimes the faff is, to me, the most interesting part because that's probably the time you relax the most.
Yeah, love it.
You're not worried about the composition now. You're having more fun just thinking about it. So I'm just going to build these up a little bit more. And all I'm doing, like I said, I'm just creating a quick background to then work on top of. And I'm just going to bring a little bit there. And let's just do a little bit that goes across there. So we've got that going on there. Let's just clean the stamp just in case I want to use you with another colour. I might not, but you know when you go. So I'm using what I call my texture stamps, which is just background stamps that can create backgrounds in lots of different ways, which is what I wanted to do. Now I am going to bring in, let's bring in a bit of yellow again. And then I'll keep building up. And all the background is just building up on layers, whether you use lotions and potions or you actually use your inks. So I'm just going to add a little bit in places. And backgrounds will always start to look a bit like a hot mess as you add your different bits and pieces in, but gradually as things come together, they don't. But you always have that initial time. It was a bit like when I was taught to colour in images or to watercolour. Someone said to me, there's always going to be a part where you get to colour your image, and whilst it's still wet, it just doesn't look good and stuff, and then suddenly it'll start to dry and the colours will start to blend and it all changes again. And when you do a background page, it's allowing that to happen as well. So I've just spritzed the stamp, and the reason is to get off the ink, but also it adds another little bit of water to the project that I can take some of the other elements off. So I'm going to put lids on ink pads because I am dreadful for putting my hands inside them. I'm awful.
What do you think about adding? I found that when when we were doing all this and we decided to use the colours of the Ukrainian flag, I actually found just having those colours to use, it felt really, I don't know, I just felt a bit more inspired because I just had to work with those colours and what I had. I didn't have to think about introducing other things in. So has it been quite nice just using those, or do you tend to pick your colours and then stick with it?
No, I think it's nice to restrict yourself every now and then to a set colour palette. And actually then it's a great way because you suddenly realise how you can still layer the same colours on top of each other and get an effect. And I think sometimes we forget that we can actually do that you can take the same colour and layer it on top to get a design, to get an effect. Now I'm inking another stamp, but I'm not making sure it's inked 100% properly because I just want to add a little bit of detail. And when to me, when I'm doing a journal page or doing anything like this, you don't have to have absolutely precise stamping. It's just giving you different areas, you know, to work on to build up the design. Okay. And I'm just going to do a little bit on the yellow. And I've got some overstamping here, which I'm not worried about actually, because that now gives me another area to work in. So let's just clean this stamp off. Something. So I'm just building it up bit by bit, as I said, sort of thing. So I'm being really good outside the camera, you see, and putting all my stamps back in the right place, just in case I want them. Just in case. Right, I want to bring in another stencil, but I am now going to bring in another colour. And the only reason I'm bringing in another colour is I just want to add a little bit of shade. But I'm going to go for quite a neutral sort of colour, like a frayed burlap, because it's got a warm undertone, but it's got like a slight yellow undertone to it. And where I've got lumps of colour that looks like they're not disjointed, I'm going to use the same stencil, and just by adding a little bit of shadow, I can bring in areas together, and they look like then that was the, you know, they were meant to be all together that was the plan in my head, if that makes sense. I did have a plan.
I'm just going to interrupt you. I just want to give an update on where we are at the moment. So let me just refresh again. So we're now on 3,951. We're so close to 4,000. Let's see if we can do it whilst Lou's live. That would be fantastic. So keep donating, keep sharing. We're doing well, guys.
That is fantastic.
I know, isn't it?
Woo-hoo! So I'm just going to do this one in the corner a little bit here on the white space. So just by changing that colour, I just added some shadow. So if you felt like this was standing out too much to you, but not using a black, use blue is brilliant for shadowing. Like a frayed burlap there, like a brown, a light brown. They're all brilliant for actually shadowing. And I just want to bring in, there's me saying I'm going to stop now, and I'm not. I'm just going to do one other thing that I just want to add, and then I'm going to start layering up some other parts on it, some other stamping bits. And I just want to bring in some more circles in different areas just to tie in the design as well. And I'm going to go over the blue, so that might give me a sort of green colour, but because I'm not letting the oxides dry as much as I would normally do, but that doesn't matter. Let's put a little in here. So we've got that there. So we're building up that layer bit by bit by bit. So now what I want to do is I want to bring in some other stamping. And I brought them all out because I didn't know what I wanted to use, so I brought loads. You know, you go, I'm not sure what I'm going to use, so let's like get out more rather than less.
Do you have a pile of stamps just there that you've got to put away? I'm terrible for that.
That's just one set. The other set's behind me as well. And I'm going to start building. Yeah, I am. I think, you look at one thing and you go, yeah, no, that would work with it. Oh, no, that looks super cool with it. And then, like you say, you end up with a big, huge pile of everything. So just what I'm doing now is I'm just adding some actual focal pieces to the background. And I just want to build it up. Let's move this here bit by bit. Sorry if I just headbutt the camera. And I'm just going to make my background just stand out just that little bit more.
You're okay. You still got about another 15 minutes.
Oh, I'm nearly done. Oh, I want to do something different there. That's going to bug me that they're together.
15 minutes still, so you got plenty of time.
Brilliant. So I'm just cleaning that one off. I do tend to try and clean my stamps a little bit more if I'm using oxides. I don't know why, when I don't do it to other things. Very bizarre. Right, and I'm just going to bring in a little one to go up the top there. And I'm trying to avoid using black ink for all my outlines. I might have to at some point, but you know, it's nice to use other colours with stamps, not just always go back to using black. And I think that's, you know, really nice, quick way. Right. I just want to do one more. That's going to go up there. So those three join in like that. So I'm being really good in cleaning stamps. Sorry, everybody. But now what I want to do is I just want to add some other little extra bits to it. And like I said, I'm going to stick to similar colours. And then I'm going to go back over with the lighter brown. So where this is joining here together, that bugs me because it looks too uniform. So I'm just going to change and add a little bit of extra detail in places. And I can then, let's move you out of the way. I'm just going to add that down there. And we'll add this bit down here. And we'll add another one there. And I'm just going to add that bit there. So I'm going to stick to the blue and then I'm going to add some more yellow in a moment. Right. Look at me. I'm being really good cleaning stamps as you go along. So what I want to do now is I just want to add in a little bit of the frayed burlap again, just so your eyes change from everything being blue. And then we'll do a little bit. I'm just going to add some different elements to it. Because this colour has got a yellow undertone to it, rather than being brown, brown sort of thing. It works with the yellow that I've chosen to use, she says, fingers crossed. We've just got that there. And I just want to do 1 or 2 just down the bottom here. I'm just using up my ink along the bottom here. There we go. So that's going to go there. And let's file you. And just one last bit with the stencil, and then I want to do a little bit of colouring, and then I've finished, I think, ish. But I would, for me, I would actually probably add some texture paste on top of this as well. But speed won't allow that, unfortunately.
We've got lovely Pauline Hickey. She's just come in and said, "Hi Lou, this is looking amazing." Kimberly said, "This journal page is starting to look really cool, like funky wallpaper." Actually.
But we've got that there, and I'm just going to bring in a few heart shapes. So I'm just sticking to the yellow and the blue and just adding layers. When I did the designs that I wanted to do, it was all about that you didn't have to think about creating your layers if you didn't want to. They just worked together. So you didn't spend hours on your work. You could just grab them and actually go. So we've got that there, and I want to grab a water brush, because what I want to do is, because this is still wet, I want to colour in some of the images just around the outside so they stand out a little bit more. Now, you don't have to, in your journal, you don't have to have perfect colouring if you don't want perfect colouring. So we've got that and that little bit down there. And then all the other colours can blend in, and I can, because I've got all the layering of colours on top of each other, it's giving me dark and light straight away, and I don't have to worry. Now, I probably would on the canvas here. Oh no, it's moving it. I was wondering if I'd have to get a little bit more ink out, but no, it will blend them in. You have to work a little bit harder on it, but it is blending it in. So you could do the same sort of page and mirror it. Sorry.
No, I was just saying, I'm mesmerised, and just you doing that, they've really lifted now. It made such a difference, just starting to colour those in. Looks brilliant.
Yeah, but it's not complicated colouring. I'm just literally going around the outside and leaving the centre as a highlight, for want of a better description, she says. So we've got that there. And I'm just going to bring in a little bit, water down some of these here.
A few questions for you, Lou. Someone said, do you use archival inks?
Yes, you can do. Archival you won't blend with as well, but archival are absolutely perfect to stamp on top of an oxide if you want something to stand out a little bit more. So that they can become the feature. If I'm using the oxides because I wanted them to be water blendable. So I'm just picking out some of the areas I've got, but archivals would work perfectly. You can use archivals with stencils. You just won't get the, it just that you don't have this length of time to blend with them that you do with a normal dye-based or an oxide-based ink pad, if that makes sense.
Hopefully that's answered that question. Rena's asked, I missed, who are the stencils by?
Me, I did the stencils. I designed the stencils. I just, when I designed them, my crafting is in different areas. I go from card making to doodling. I love drawing mandalas. I love doing art journaling. And I wanted that whatever I designed would work with whatever type of craft I fancied doing that day. So the stencils I designed wasn't just for one specific thing. It was that if I fancied doodling inside the shapes, I could doodle inside the shapes, if that makes sense.
Right, yeah.
So I'm just going to
do a drum roll. We've just spiked. I've just checked now, £4,105. Thank you. So we've just hit another target, which is fantastic.
Right, someone mentioned archival. I've got a sentiment to add on here, and I'm just going to go, I'm going to stick to a blue archival ink just to show that you can use your archivals, and I can add a little bit of extra decoration, and the archivals will work on top. But now with the archivals, they won't blend out as much, but you can use your archival inks alongside an oxide. Once your oxides are dry, you can put your distresses on top. You don't have to separate your distress and oxide. You just need to let one dry before you. And I would do oxide first, then distress, personally. Let's have a look. Let's do one there, and we'll just have one there, and then just to balance it out, because it's going to bug me if I don't. I'm sorry. I'm just going to have to do one on the opposite side, otherwise it will bug me. So you can use your mix and match all your different types of craft stash that you've actually got. So you can use your archivals on top of your oxides because they're more of a hybrid based ink sort of thing. So let's move you out of the way, because that wasn't what I was planning to do, but hey. So I would now, if this was me, I would probably, carry on. I might introduce a little bit of black sentiment, but what I wanted to do was just finish with a quick sentiment over the top. And I'm just going to trim this down. And I created the sentiments because I wanted all the sentiments I've made, whether in stamp form, die form, or in a paper kit, are it had to cross over to art journaling, birthdays, everything. So the page will be full of different things. So I wanted to be having different things. So this one says sort of a never be the echo, be the voice. So you can place that. I could cut it up or just have it along one of the edges there. And then the one I wanted on the opposite side, I couldn't make my mind up whether I wanted them in black or white. So I did them in both. And I'm just going to cut this down quickly. Normally, there we go. So this one just says, strong people don't have attitudes, just standards. And I would then carry on. I must admit, I would go away and faff, but that's it. That's how quickly.
It obviously, I get my words out. Sorry, I'm just about to say the winner's name and then I've just mumbled up everything else. I've thoroughly loved this. I haven't really ever sat and just watched someone do a journal page like this, and I just think it's fantastic how that looks. It looks like you've done so many different layers, as in like 3D. It's just so lifted. And
it was and all the stamps that I designed and the stencils and everything, was the idea behind it was for people to be a little bit braver with their stamping and their journaling. So all you needed to do was just add one or two elements, and that's it. It looks like you've done a layered look, even if you haven't done a layered look.
Yeah, it does. And the comments, people are loving it. Amazing, Lou. Love the sentiments. This is beautiful. Wow. It does look absolutely amazing. And it just shows, like you said, what you can do with, not too many supplies.
Yeah. So my giveaway is the 3 stencils I've used today. They're the new ones that have just come out. And the 2 background stamps, the texture background stamps that go with it. So it's about £50 worth there. So everybody can have a go at doing what I've just done now.
Well, thank you. We've also got the winner. So let me just go to my other page here. So the winner for this wonderful giveaway that Lou's very kindly donated is Sam Galloway. Brilliant demos. Been here since 8 a.m. Thank you for organising the day and raising money for a worthy cause. So congratulations to Sam, and thank you to Lou.
No, thank you. I've thoroughly enjoyed myself. And thank you to everyone who keeps donating. I'm now going to go back and watch some of the ones that I missed earlier.
It's been wonderful. So yeah, again, thank you for taking the time out and joining. It's just such a nice day having everyone kind of all, come together and chat and do this. It's fantastic. So yeah, thank you so much.
It's lovely. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to now remind everybody why we're doing what we're doing, for anybody new that's joining, and just pop in our appeal video while we get the next demo set up.
Thank you so much for joining us today in our big craftathon in aid of the DEC Ukraine Humanitarian Appeal. 44 million Ukrainians find themselves in a situation that is unthinkable and urgently need help from the global community. While we think that there may be little we can do that is of direct and practical help, we can assist the DEC Humanitarian Appeal by using our craft to raise money to provide shelter, food and water to people fleeing the conflict. So we'd like your help by sitting back and watching some wonderful crafters who have given up their time to provide you with hours of crafting entertainment. And all we ask in return is that you donate what you can via our Just Giving account so we can raise as much money as possible for this amazing humanitarian appeal. Just Giving is easy. Simply use the link provided to donate the amount you wish. You can pay by bank transfer, PayPal, credit or debit card or Apple Pay. And don't forget to tick the box for gift aid if you're a UK taxpayer. The crisis cannot have failed to move you, as the news brings us harrowing scenes of what's happening both in Ukraine but also to the thousands of people forced to flee their country. For us, the story's a little closer to home, as we have the privilege of working with Olga Direktorenko, the designer behind Paper Discovery, herself a Ukrainian national who has been forced to leave her country. Well, we are elated to say that Olga and her children have now found a safe haven by travelling across Europe. We want to raise as much money as possible for Olga, her countrymen and women, so please give what you can. Your donations will be so appreciated. Thank you.
So once again, thank you to everybody that's joined us so far, and for all of you watching, I hope you're enjoying what you've seen so far. So we're just waiting now. We've got Nikki, who's going to be joining us from Creative Stamping. Can't wait to see that. I love what Nikki does. So whilst we're waiting for Nikki to come in, let's see in the chat. So what we got there, great journal page. It was lovely. Like I said, I've never really sat and watched someone do it from the beginning, like, you know, start off with a blank page. I've seen them, I've seen photos on Pinterest, things like that, but I've never watched it from the beginning. So I found that really, it's very relaxing. I was like, again, forgetting what I'm doing. So you probably noticed I had my hand in my face because I was just so relaxed watching it. So Sam Galloway's there. Thank you so much. Was really surprised to hear my name. It's nice when you win something, isn't it? So that was good fun. And lots of congratulations there, which is wonderful. So let me know what you've enjoyed, who you're looking forward to seeing. Have you seen the schedule? Because it is out there, so you can see who is, you know, still to come for the rest of the day. And I just cannot believe, what are we on now? Let's just do another little update. £4,132. Amazing. Considering we were going for 3 today. I just think that's wonderful. Thank you, Debbie. I appreciate it. I'm warming up a little bit now, but I'm still nervous. So, but I'm wondering where Nikki is. We can't see her. She's not here yet. But to be honest, I am early, so don't panic, Nikki, if you're now thinking, where should I be? Love the journal page, says Sandy. Been watching since 8 a.m. What an awesome day. I love it. I think it's been brilliant. It's such good fun chatting to lots of different people. You're doing a great job keeping things flowing throughout the day. Such a variety. And that's what I loved. Because obviously there's lots of card makers out there, isn't it, including myself. So it's nice to mix things up. So I love doing the scrapbook layout earlier. You're waiting. You're not in this stream, Nikki. I don't know where you're waiting. She said she's in the chat saying she's waiting, but she's not in. Have you been sent the right link, Nikki? Hillary, is Nikki got the right link? Because I've got no one in my green room. So we'll just give it a minute. So see what's going on there. But I know at least she's around somewhere. We just need to get her into the right stream. So I'm sure that'll be okay. But yeah, so who have we got coming up later? We've got Phil Martin later on. So that should be good fun. I'll find out where they are. Floating around somewhere in the techie sky, I guess. I've loved it all day. Looking forward to Visible Image. And yes, we've got Visible Image, Katie, Fabulous Phil. We've got lots and lots to come still, so it's going to be good. Thank you, Lynn. Appreciate it. It's been an amazing day of crafting so far, Sam. So many more hours to go. I know. I'll need another coffee. I think when I'm done. So who have I got? I've got Nikki and Sandy still, and then I'm going to have a coffee, and then I'll be buzzing for the last part. Okay, we're just seeing where they are, and said we'll be with you very soon, she says. Okay, fine, thanks, Nikki. I'll just keep talking. Sorry, you've got my face for a minute. Ask me any questions while you've got me. Let's do a little Q&A with Sam. So if you've got anything you'd like to ask me, then now's your chance. I know some people have commented on the craft room there. So this is my ribbon organisation. I've got a little bit of, that was a mixed media project I'd done during a live. And this is my little craft space. Learned some mini niche tips. I did as well. Like I said, I love that tip that John next door did with the tape over the dies. I thought that was brilliant. Yes, Jen, I did. It was really weird seeing it. I think it's funny when you see someone you know on TV. Nikki, who's going to be on with us next, she was on The Chase last year, which for anybody that doesn't know is a game show here in the UK. Sandy, you've run out of tonics tea cakes. I've got a stash. I'm going to have one later. Love your craft space. Thank you. You're doing a great job. Thank you very much. Have you got Halloween collection coming out? I do. It's Laura, isn't it? I'm sure it's Laura. Yes, I do. I can't wait. It's the first time I've done, apart from Christmas, it's the first time I've done a themed collection. So yeah, there's a Halloween one coming soon. What is the saying to the right? Oh, it must be here. So this one is, I'm crafting today. I have a different quote on all of the doors on this big unit. You can see that in my crafting tool. Okay, I can see Nikki's now joined, so let's bring Nikki in so we can just say hello. Hiya. You're right.
Hi, sorry about that little delay there. I was busy crafting.
You're allowed. You're excused. Thank you so much for taking the time and joining us today. It's been so nice to have you come in.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure to be here. Bit overwhelming, really. There's so many fantastic crafters today. I've been gripped far too much more than I should have been today.
I know, you're trying.
Probably like many people, I've got it at the corner of my screen whilst I'm working, but I just keep finding myself going.
That's what I was like. I thought I can get this done. I've got other bits to do. I've got some prepping to do for other cards. I thought I'll do that in between, and I've just not. The last one, I was like this, just watching, all the detail and stuff. So
I was sort of like looking at the screen, watching Sheena, and absolutely loved Sarah's demo earlier. I caught you this morning whilst I was getting dressed. I was watching you do your sunflowers in the bedroom, and it's just great. It's just absolutely fascinating seeing all the different styles, and everybody seems to have brought a piece of themselves. Like John when he did his demo, it's just John. You could just tell. If you just give me that card and said who made it, I said I know who that is.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm not quite sure what you're going to be expecting from me today, but it's probably going to be inky and it'll probably be messy.
Oh, fantastic. Well, for anybody that doesn't know, this is the wonderful Nikki. Nikki is the editor of Creative Stamping Magazine, which is my personal favourite. I have always loved Creative Stamping Magazine and always wonderful stamp sets. And Nikki's the one I always tell you to tag her whenever you use anything from the mags, because she will see it and share and stuff.
Yeah, and I'm on a lot of social media craft groups as well, so I'm always looking out and I always spot things made with creative stamping stamps a mile off, and I love it. It's really great to see people using them.
And that's what I love as well, is that the editor is a true crafter. So like she gets so it's it's good stuff. Okay.
Procrastinator.
Do you need me to change you, or you okay to just
No, we've got the cameras here. Fortunately I'm not alone, because if I was you still wouldn't have seen me by now, but now I've got the more than capable Johnny pressing some buttons over there, so he's going to be able to take us to the overhead camera. So
okay, well I'll just come in every now and then when there's any questions, but I'll leave it to you.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much. Well, as you said, I am the editor of Creative Stamping, and what I thought I would do today would be a little mishmash of the theme of the day, which seems to have been unanimously blue and yellow, and use it with the latest issue of Creative Stamping, which is on sale now. Now, this isn't a plug for my magazine, but then maybe it could, because it is fantastic, but it's just an absolutely beautiful stamp set. Half of it's come from Crafters Companion, who've just given us some amazing stamps, and it helped us build a really, really gorgeous French themed stamp set, which I absolutely love.
Nikki, sorry, I just need to interrupt, because I forgot to say the amazing giveaway that you're doing for this segment. So anybody who donates within the time that Nikki's on, you'll win 1 year's Creative Stamping subscription worth £130.
That is just fantastic, absolutely fantastic, and you will just be inspired. Every month, you'll just be stamping away to your heart's content. I think that's a wonderful prize.
It is.
And also, what I will do is I will add on and send this card that I'm determined to make in this session. I'll add it on and send it to the person who wins that prize as well, personally from me, as a little thank you.
That's fantastic. So get donating, guys, because that's a fantastic prize.
Brilliant, brilliant. Okay. So do you want to have a little look at what we can create then? So we're going to do a little bit of a fusion of the Ukrainian flag theme and creative stamping, and we're going to see how it all works together today. But what I thought I would do first was a little technique that I quite like doing. Rather than stamping with stamps, I'm going to show you first of all how to stamp with an acrylic block. This is because I want to make a really bold background. So I'm using, first of all, I'll tell you what I'm using, but you'll probably be familiar with the colours by now. I'm using a Blueprint Sketch Distress Oxide which is one of my all-time favourite colours. And then on this one, it's a mustard seed, so it's a really nice bright yellow, and they're a beautiful pair of colours together. And maybe we might get a chance to mix them. We'll have to see. So what I'm going to do first of all, I thought I'm not going to show you the card that I'm making, and then you can see at the end of it whether it actually turned out how I wanted it to turn out, is I'm just pressing the ink onto half of my acrylic block. It's just a clean acrylic block. I gave it an extra special white. My acrylic blocks are not usually this clean. I'm then going to put the blue on the other side. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here. So the ink sits on the block quite nicely. It pulls ever so slightly, but you've got a really good coverage here. So what I'm going to do is, just to make it even better, is I'm just going to lightly spritz it. I've just moved my cardstock out of the way. So I'm going to give it 3 squirts of water, just water spray. And it just very, very lightly makes it a little bit wetter. Okay, so I've got a piece of cardstock here. It's about 13 centimetres square. And I'm going to basically stamp the acrylic block directly onto my cardstock. This may work, this may not work. Let's have a look. So I'm close to the top. So I've got an even border all the way around, and I'm just pressing. And as I press, you can see the ink spread around underneath. Doesn't matter if the colours cross, it's not a problem. You see the ink spread around underneath. I'm just going to leave it to sit there for a few seconds, and then I'm going to lift it off, and we're going to see what effect we've got. There we go. Okay, I'm actually really quite happy with that. We've got a little Ukrainian flag. So I thought it would just make a really nice background just to start the colours off with this, and to see where we go from here. Now, I'm not actually going to clean this block yet, because I've actually got a ready-made supply of ink for some colouring that I'm going to do later. Before I do the colouring, I am actually going to make a little bit of a mess, and I think I'm going to do some splats. Now, I am a messy crafter in terms of getting it all over my hands, but I don't tend to do sort of like more of the mixed media splatty style, so I thought, well, I'll just have some fun with this and see where it takes me. So, just looking like we're a little bit out of focus there. Is it working for you? There we go, it's a little bit better. So, I've just pressed the ink pad onto my craft mat. Do you like the nails? Press the ink pad onto the craft mat, and I'm giving it a good spritz with water. And this is, I think it's called like a fan brush or some sort of a plastic bristle brush. It's a Tim Holtz one that I've just got in my stash from home. And if you just pick up some of the water like that, this is going to be a disaster. Do you know what I'm going to do? Excuse me 1 second. I'm going to put it in a box. In fact, I've prepared a box ready with kitchen roll, because I know how messy this can be. And I'm going to tap. There we go. Some of the ink. Right, I'm going to stop and go with a less is more for now. We can always add some more later on. But I'm just going to leave it like that. Put that out of the way. I've got some more kitchen rolls somewhere, because I don't want to get this all over my card. Not just now. So, going to dry that, and I'm going to use a heat tool, otherwise I'm just standing there literally watching paint dry. So I'm just going to use, this is a lower heat tool than the one I normally use for heat embossing. If I'm heat embossing, I use one that directs the heat a lot more, but if you're just literally wanting to dry things and you can still hear me talking, this is a good heat tool to use. So here we go.
Yeah, we can hear you fine, Nikki.
Catch the last of those drips.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, just to say we can hear you fine, and everybody's loving what you're doing, getting messy and inky.
Yeah, so far so good. This is good. I've been crafting for 5 minutes and my hands are still clean. Right. So we've got our background. So it's just got a few splats. It just adds to that distressed overall look at the end of it. So what I'm going to do, and I'm actually feeling very brave today. I don't know how you feel, Sam, about a stamping platform, but I've got very reliant on mine. And I find myself using it all the time, but I thought, no, I'm going to try something. I'm going to try stamping old style.
It's funny, you're right, because I used to use the, acrylic blocks all the time, and then
I find if I'm working with lots of small stamps, then I just get a load of acrylic blocks out and put the stamps on the acrylic blocks. But normally, if I'm using a stamp of this size, and if you look at it, this rose stamp from Creative Stamping is as big as the ink pad. It's huge.
I was just surprised when you peeled it off. I couldn't believe how big it was.
Yeah, it's really, really a big stamp. I mean, I love it when we get to put the big stamps on Creative Stamping, because they really do make a difference to what you can do with them. So I've inked it up, and I'm just using my black VersaFine, Onyx Black VersaFine, because I'm going to heat emboss it with a clear powder, just because I think it just adds to the finish. So, like I say, I'm being brave, actual stamping like we used to. And there we go. I don't know what we were worried about. So
that's a gorgeous image, isn't it?
Underneath. Sorry, what was that, Sam?
It's a really lovely image.
It's gorgeous, isn't it? Absolutely gorgeous. I mean, just on its own, it's absolutely stunning, but I thought we'll use some colour on it and see what we can do. So I put the powder on it. I will clear the powder away in a moment, but I love this bit. It doesn't matter how many times you heat emboss something, especially with the metallics. I just love it. It's like just turning your project to gold or silver, but I think doing it this way, it seals the ink. Even though VersaFine ink is brilliant for stamping and watercolouring, as you know, I think sealing it with a clear embossing powder just adds that extra level of both safety, that you know that the ink isn't going to run, which it won't anyway, but it's just really nice to have it. And it's just an extra layer. You can actually feel it as well. It's sort of like it's tactile.
I always forget to do that, to be honest. It's one of those things that I forget. But yeah, it's really good to do.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the time I literally just stamp and colour, but you can tell the difference. And when obviously I get lots and lots of projects in from our designers, you can tell the difference. And it's touchy feel. It's like, oh, they've heat embossed that. I must remember to heat emboss it myself next time. So I do. So here we go. We have actually got our image on here, but I remember now what else I needed to do. I want to stamp it on here as well, so I'm going to do this. I won't heat emboss it. I'll just leave this one to dry, because it's going to be a background image. So right, wish me luck. Don't drop it. So I'm stamping this over the flag quite high up towards the top. So you will see, I hope I didn't just catch that, we'll find out in a moment. So there we go, that's all I needed. So that's kind of like the format of the card, but I'm going to leave this because I'm actually going to work on this one. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to match it up so that I've got it pointing the right way. So we've got the single flower at the top, and then you see I didn't clear my ink. I've left it on here because I've got a little paint palette. So what I'm going to do, just going to check that my water brush isn't blue, which it's not. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pick up the paint and basically paint in my images. But I'm only going to paint the flower heads, the 3 roses. Now, unfortunately, I couldn't find any sunflowers in my stash, which is regrettable, I know. But I just thought this is just a really nice way as well of showing our support and saying thank you to everybody that's contributed and worked so hard to bring this together as well. The team that's brought this together, I think you're amazing. I feel so privileged to be part of it. I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm literally just painting it in yellow. that one, and then I'm going to paint this bottom one in blue. I've got a feeling there's not an awful lot of blue ink here, so I'm just going to top it up. So I'm going in blue on this one. So there we go. In fact, I think it's there. Oh, live painting.
Somebody's just said, Nikki, someone's just said, doesn't the yellow rose mean friendship?
It does, doesn't it?
Well, there you go.
Yellow roses are beautiful.
And let's do a little check.
Everybody's been saying that the colour scheme of, if it's, everybody seems to have just taken the inspiration of the blue and yellow and worked with it. But it does, it really, it tests and stretches your imagination as much as anything else. It's really, really good. But it's nice to do something different.
Definitely.
So, right.
I'll just give you a quick update on the total. So we're now 4,364. So just a little bit off our next target, which is 4.5. So let's see what we can do.
That would be amazing if we could
Fantastic.
get 4.5 in this slot, or even in the next one. I just can't get over how much people have been donating. It's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. What I've just done is I've diluted the blue a little bit more, because for this flower, I'm thinking I'm just going to make it that little bit paler. Okay, I've accidentally painted something I don't want to paint. Let's see if I can get rid of it. If I can't, I'll paint it up again. This is me not concentrating. I've been thrown by that amazing.
Shall I tell you, Nikki, that you got John next door watching as well?
Oh, hi, John. Loved John's demo this morning. I can't paint that out, so I'm going to paint it in. It's now just a bit of rose. Nobody's going to even notice.
Everyone's loving what you're doing. Lots of lovely comments.
Oh, thank you. Even though I've just made a big mistake, but honestly, you won't notice it.
No, we all do it. We love seeing the mistakes.
Literally. So it's just, it's really relaxing painting your images. And I think you find when you have actually heat embossed something, apart from where I literally just went over the edge there, it's almost easier. It sort of catches your paintbrush and stops you from going too far over the edges of things. But this is, this is a pretty relaxed sort of colouring session. There we go, just like that. Just get a little bit more colouring up to there. Okay, so I'm deliberately leaving the leaves because I don't want everything to be coloured. I really want to just focus on picking out the bright colours on the flowers. And as such, I'm going to just darken this one even a little bit more. You see, a second layer, second coat, and you really get the intensity of the colour, which is good because I wanted it to contrast with that, because it now looks like we've got three colours of ink on here. And as you know, you can get a full rainbow of full spectrum of colour out of a single Distress Oxide ink pad or a Distress ink pad, which is why I love them so much. So there we go. So we have this. So what we need to do now, and I'll have to put my glasses on for this, but you won't know because you're looking down, is you're going to have to watch me cutting out. So I hope people are enjoying this demo. You've not spotted any Gilberts watching the demo, have you, Sam?
Let's have a little look, because it's going quite fast, actually. Lots of people. Sharon Curtis said, very brave not to use the platform. It turned out so well.
It's a fabulous stamp.
No mistakes, only happy accidents, says Linda.
Thank you, Linda. I agree.
What else have we got? There's so many comments. Think stamping is my favourite paper crafting technique. This make looks amazing, Nikki, says Fifi.
Oh, thank you, Fifi.
Heat embossing is making it all even more special. Lots of people saying how heat embossing was what got them started. That's what got me started. My mum showed me heat embossing.
Yeah, heat embossing and literally stamping and turning everything gold.
Yep.
I was obsessed with gold, and I've been watching sort of like heat embossing and embossing powder videos recently, and really learning from them. And it's so so much more than stamping. It's just like the effects that you can make, and you literally can just heat emboss. Get your powder over a surface, heat emboss it, and then die cut it. It's, embossing powder is so much more than just stamping and embossing. But for the purposes of this, here we go.
few other people said it's looking really good, and someone said, who's that comment? Let me just see. Nicola, she said, according to the internet, the yellow rose is for happiness, friendship, and caring. So it's a great choice.
Well, thank you. I'm really that's really good. So here we go. So we've actually cut out just the elements of the flowers, which if you see the way I've painted them, we've got the yellow going over the blue and then the blue going over the yellow. So at least I took a few seconds to actually give that some thought and get it right. Might have practiced this last night. You might have got it the wrong way around. So just because I'm a faffy crafter and I don't want to do things by halves, I picked up this brilliant pearl mist at the weekend. I was at one of the stamping shows and it's absolutely brilliant because I saw Sarah from Funky Fossil, a few other people, and Simon from Pearly Winks. And I got this pearl mist from Simon, and I think it's my new favourite toy. I've been crafting all weekend and spraying it on anything. I'm surprised the dog isn't actually covered in pure pearl because it's just really gorgeous. But it's just a mica mist, and I'm literally going to, once again, excuse me for ducking out, keep things safe and try not to wreck the place. I'm just going to I've just activated the white, it's just a pure pearl mica. I've activated it.
I was talking about this stuff earlier because I said on my scrapbook layout, I said it's a great thing to just spray on your projects at the very end.
Yeah.
It's
well,
wonderful.
I don't know whether the focus is going to work because I can't quite see the camera screen from here.
If you just turn it a little bit, see if it hit the light.
See if we can give it a shimmer. It just gives
just see it.
Sheen, a lovely sheen at the end of it all.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely great. I mean, obviously, if you spray too much, it is going to affect the Distress Oxide. But because I've painted with the Distress Oxide, I've already sort of watered it down that little bit. Right. But just putting something like a pearl mist over the surface, it just gives it that little extra finish, which means that, you know, it's just one more nice thing. It's a little bit like heat embossing your black stamping. It's one more nice thing. It's like take it just beyond the basic level. So here we go. We've got this. Now, before I stick it on, I'm actually going to just stamp one more little thing actually. And because we've got our French themed set here in front of me, and these are the stamps that I brought with me, and because I love everything that is French, absolutely massive Francophile, love France, love visiting France, speak French, used to teach French in a past life. I just thought that the little merci was a little bit more appropriate, seeing as we're using this stamp set and seeing as it's me.
Sorry, did I just hear that right, Nikki, that you used to teach French?
Mais oui.
Oh,
yeah,
I can't.
in a previous life, I was a school teacher for more years than I care to remember. You know what? There's a few crafters that have been on today that may well have spent time in the classroom also, I do believe. In fact, I can think of at least two whose names rhyme with two. They've also been teachers in their time. But yes, I did used to teach French, and it's a wonderful language. So to get a stamp set like this with, like, you know, favourite things and lots of lovely French style images is an absolute treat for me, really. So I've stamped my sentiment on the bottom. So we've got a little merci. So there's not really much more to do to this card other than find some 3D foam pads. So this mica has actually had time to dry now. It's still slightly damp, but certainly dry enough to stick down. So I'm going to be, there we go.
You still got about 10, sorry, Nikki, got about 10, 15 minutes. So if you can do another quick card after.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I've got another card ready.
Okay.
In so much as I planned it just before I came on, and it's at this stage so far. But you know what? Let's see if we can do it. It'll be my own little craftathon.
All right then.
So here we go. So what I've got here, basically going to stick this down over the original image so that you can still see sort of like elements that have not been coloured. And then it wouldn't be one of my cards without, now I did, there we go, without something that I probably put on every single card I make. If you've ever spotted my cards in the magazines, I'm absolutely mad on sequins. So I've had a little dig around. Look how tidy I am. I've bought my little sequins in little pots. So I'm going to pop a couple of sequins just around. They say do 3, but I just can't stop at 3. So let's go for 6. I just think it just adds a little something around the edge of a card. Again, another thing that I'm not very good at is white space. So it's always a learning curve when you're crafting. So I'm really quite pleased with myself that I created a card here, or certainly a card front, that's actually got white space on it, because I think it actually adds to it and it draws your eye. And it's a simple card, but it's a really, really lovely idea. And it's great to use your acrylic blocks to actually use them for stamping a background as well.
It's wonderful, Nikki. Really, really nice. Can you hold it up closer to the camera when you're done?
I certainly will. Here I am already prepped with my card blank. So
lots of people liking the sequins as well.
So if somebody, well, the person who actually wins, what is it? The creative stamping subscription. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Look at you.
no, it's amazing.
Yeah, so the person who wins the creative stamping subscription, I will personally send you this little thank you card.
That's gorgeous.
So thank you from me for donating in this hour and for joining us today, because it's just been an absolutely fabulous day. So there, thank you very, very much. So you want to see some crafting completely on the hoof. Like, I've got next to nothing.
Let me give you a time check. So you're going to have, you've got, yeah, I mean, we're looking at the time. So we've got the next segment will be starting at 1:45. So let's say 10 minutes.
Let's do this. Right, while she was saying that, I've already just added, again, I'm going to stay distressed. I'm not going to fuss about it too much. I've just literally rubbed the ink pad, the mustard seed ink pad, over a spare piece of cardstock. And I've done that because I don't want to get like a full impression. Because what I do like, I have not made this card prior. This was just something I was looking at whilst I thought I was in the waiting room. So it's the same colour ink, but because you've got the white here, when I stamp here, you will see just a really, really subtle, delicate pattern coming into the background. And that's all I want, because this is not a focal part of this card. I just thought I'd make a quick and easy card. Still don't know how it's going to go, but don't you like that when he's just like, oh, let's just see what happens. So there we go. So there, don't know if you can see it clearly, it's just got texture in it. It's got tone, but it's really, really super subtle. I'm just going to give my craft mat a quick wipe down, just so that the white card stays white. Okay, so what am I going to do with the rest of it?
Just going to give another update. So we 99% close to our next target. So 4,459. If we can get 4.5 in the next few minutes, that would be amazing. And announce the winner as well.
That would be absolutely amazing. So, right, this little piece here that I've cut off the front of the card, I'm just going to stick it back inside what's now going to be the back. Okay, just like that. Doesn't matter which way it goes. It just means that you can see something, because whilst I was faffing before I came on, I did stamp. Like I say, I was just thinking, shall I, shan't I? I did stamp this dress because I thought it's absolutely beautiful. And I did make a card for this issue that used the dress. And then I made another card just for myself that used the dress. And then I made another one because it's just so, so pretty. So let's have a look at what we can do with these colours, just to see. So what I really want to do, I thought I'll start, because Lou was talking this morning about blending your colours together. And I thought, oh, let's see what we can do. So start at the top, start at the bottom, and take the colour up. And again, just picking up the colour. If you use watercolour cardstock, you might have a slightly better result, because this is drying very, very quickly onto this smooth cardstock. I think this smooth cardstock is great for making for doing your colouring with alcohol inks.
Just to let you know, Nikki, you're still okay with time because it's only just 3:30, so you've got
How long have I
about
got?
10 minutes still, so you're okay. You don't need to rush too much.
That's amazing, right? Okay. Oh, well, I can get some real colour in here then. I just love this dress. It just makes me want to be a princess or go to Paris. I think I'd rather go to Paris. Don't know if my husband's watching. Paris would be nice. So there we go. Shall I try it? Shall I try mixing the colours in the middle and see if we get that green?
I would. Everyone's loving it. They're really enjoying what you're doing. So yeah, you go for it.
So if we mix the yellow and the blue together, I'm trying to get something. There we go. Oh, that's a nice mix. Let's see what happens here. And actually, that's kind of like a peeled paint colour, isn't it? But it's lovely. There we go.
Nikki, they're saying that you're going to be Princess Nikki now in the office. It's your new name.
Lovely. That's one of the better ones. I can probably just about live with that, but I'm no princess. Oh my goodness. No. So, yeah, I like that. So we've kind of got the green to the blue. And what I'm going to do, seeing as I've not done the belt yet, is I'm going to turn that proper blue. There we go, like that. And it wouldn't be messy crafting if we didn't make it sparkle. Oops, thought I'd taken the lid off. I've taken the nozzle off. Right. Oh, fab. Just going to give it a quick wash with the heat tool. Look at this, two-handed crafting. Just drying the mica a little bit so that I can actually cut this out.
Well, whilst you're just doing that, Nikki, I've just checked and we've hit our next target. We've now made 4,514, which is just amazing.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, thank you so much, everybody. That's just incredible.
That's fab. So I'm going to, probably not as neatly as I normally would, but I'm just going to cut around this. It's just a beautiful, beautiful stamp.
It's gorgeous. Really, I love this. Yeah, can't wait to get my hands on it.
So pretty. And you could just do so much with this. You could be adding your Nouveau drops, your glittery accents, glitter dots, glitter up the dress completely.
It'd look nice with some tulle over it as well, couldn't you? You could put some actual tulle over the top of the dress.
Oh, yes. Yes, you absolutely could. There we go. So it is still quite damp, but I'm going to just do something on that because I just can't leave it white. How long have I got left, Sam?
6 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Right, let's go crazy. Let's do something totally wacky. Right, there we go. So that is the dress. So what I thought was that it would look really, really nice on there. But I also thought that I don't like this too plain. So, where's my flowers? I'm just going to give this a clean down, which I should have done before, but I feel as if I'm amongst good company here that we don't clean up as quickly as we should. So
we certainly don't judge.
And we don't judge. Right, I want to clean that because I don't want to be accidentally stamping black onto my card here. Oops. Right, so I'm just going to open this up so that I'm not stamping over the front, and I'm just going to put a piece of paper over that bit, so I literally am now stamping just over the front. And because I love this rose so much, let's go for an instant background. And again, because it's distressed, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how hard the press is, we'll get a little print. Ooh, wrong one. So keep that piece of paper over there so that the card is still nice enough to send somebody. There we go. One there. And just going to do this little bottom bit. Make sure I've got it all. Just sort of like twist the stamp around. So I know I've got this area to fill in, and you just get a little bit of a match there. There we go. Right, let's have a look and see what we've got on the card. There we go. So it's really, really subtle. This is still the focus of the card, which I think is really important, that you actually do have something like that on the card. So I think I'm going to mount it now. And if we can be super quick with this, just going to trim. Not even measuring, just looking. There we go. Yes. Bit smaller. Okay, this is how I mat and lay it, literally. I just sort of like lay one thing over the other, stick it in the machine. Are we good? Yes, we are good. Okay, right. One of those. Okay, that's now a yellow layer. I just love the yellow. I just think it's such a pretty colour to work with. So we've got a yellow layer there. We're going to have a white layer here over the top. We need a sentiment. So I think before I start layering things up, I'm going to stamp a sentiment. And we need to know what fits. So let's have a look at what we've got here. Oh yeah, there we go. So swap that. Again, the scary bit, stamping with a stamping block. But these stamps are just absolutely brilliant. I'm just going to move these out of the way. I know I want this sentiment at the bottom. So position it, stamp it, even pressure, both sides. Leave it a couple of seconds. Cross fingers, say a little prayer. Oh, here we go. Right, we are almost done. There we go. So it's just a simple layer. I mean, again, you could put something on this if you wanted to. You really could. How are we doing for time, Sam? Have I got time to get the sequins out?
Yeah, you're okay.
Yay!
You got about 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Right.
Whilst you're doing the sequins, I will announce the winner. So when you get to that.
Oh yes, we've got the winner, haven't we?
Yeah.
There's an amazing. I don't know when the last time you were in this studio, Sam, but we've underneath this desk. It's like an Aladdin's cave of stuff. But unfortunately, that's not what I was looking for. I'm just wondering. 3 minutes.
Maybe 2 now.
Okay, 2 is still good.
To be honest, we're coming to the end of this segment, so it's just going to be the changeover and then Lou's going to be
too small. All of these bits of cardstock, by the way, I have a little nook in the corner of my shelf at home, one of my crafting shelves, and I do save all these little bits. If it's usable again, I will use it. Right. I just can't leave so much white space because it's just me. So there we go. Because it's me and because I just cannot stop doing things. Oh, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to go. Actually, I know what I'm going to do. One of them.
Oh, she's going crazy now. This is it. The last minute, she's going nuts.
The last minute, there we go.
You look like what something I would do. I always start doing really crazy things towards the end of it.
Crazy crafting, a little bit more of that. So literally, I just pressed the ink pad 3 times onto the mat, spritzed myself with water, then I turned it round and spritzed. I got a little bit of spray on my glasses now. I can kind of still see what I'm doing, you know. There we go.
Whilst you're drying that, let me I'm going to go into to see who was pulled. So drum roll. So this prize is the amazing year subscription to the Creative Stamping subscription magazine. £130 this is worth, and this is going to Catherine and Tracy. This has been a brilliant effort, learning loads of techniques. Keep up the good work. Congratulations to Catherine.
Congratulations, Catherine. Well done.
That's an amazing prize.
And I want to see what you've made with it as well. And also, I will make sure that that the thank you card finds its way to you. Oh, wow, there we go.
That looks lovely.
Yeah. So there we go. And then, oops, she's stuck to the mat. One of those. Let me one on. We are. Have I got time for sequins?
I'll let you put a sequin on. Go on.
Oh, sequin time.
I love it. I think it looks gorgeous. It's so nice.
It's literally just, what can we make with it? But it's just such a lovely set that, like, the focal images are gorgeous. But then, the background images, like I used the flower, the big trio of roses. I used that to make the focal image, on another card. It's just the background, and it's just like, they're so versatile. Always when we're planning creative stampings, I'm always looking for like maximum versatility, and the most that you can do with the stamps and the goodies that you get with each issue. So I'm really, really pleased that so many people have donated in this hour, because I'm kind of looking at the Creative Stamping subscription, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
But it's not. This actual issue is on sale now. It's in the supermarkets. This is not a selling show, but I will tell you that you can still get this.
People have been asking. Yeah, we've not it's not been about that, but today, but people are asking the questions.
It's a crafting show, and I hope that I've shown a few little lovely techniques that you can do using any stamps, really.
Can you hold that dress one up? Can you hold it closer? The dress one. We have not seen
the dress one.
Yeah, let's have a little look.
There
see
you
all that
go.
detail you've done.
So there's a little bit of sheen on the dress again.
Lovely.
Using my pure pearl, let's say, current favourite toy. And so here we go. We've got 2 lovely cards. Well, I hope they're lovely.
They are.
2 cards created. One of them completely off the hoof. Literally, I've stamped the dress and that was it. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed my demo. I'm so thrilled to have been asked to join you today. Like I say, humbled as well, and I'm just absolutely delighted that people have made their donation. And,
thank you.
I'll be adding mine too as well. But no, it's been a wonderful little session. So thank you very much for having me.
Well, thank you for joining us. The comments have been lovely. So I know Nikki will go back and have a look, and just thoroughly enjoyed it. And I think it's been nice seeing you just quickly do something fast, not really having time to think about it.
Totally random.
So they've really enjoyed that. So yeah, thank you for joining us, Nikki. So this is now the end of my segment. So I'm going to leave you with the appeal video, so anybody new just joining can see why we're doing this today, and for the wonderful DEC, which is the Ukraine Humanitarian Appeal, and we've already raised over 4,500, which is amazing. So this is like the end of the first kind of half of the day, and now we're going to be going over to Lou and then myself later on for the second half. So again, thank you, Nikki, for joining us, and I will see you
for being fab
later on.
Thank you so much for joining us today in our big craftathon in aid of the DEC Ukraine Humanitarian Appeal. 44 million Ukrainians find themselves in a situation that is unthinkable and urgently need help from the global community. While we think that there may be little we can do that is of direct and practical help, we can assist the DEC Humanitarian Appeal by using our craft to raise money to provide shelter, food and water to people fleeing the conflict. So we'd like your help by sitting back and watching some wonderful crafters who have given up their time to provide you with hours of crafting entertainment. And all we ask in return is that you donate what you can via our Just Giving account so we can raise as much money as possible for this amazing humanitarian appeal. Just Giving is easy. Simply use the link provided to donate the amount you wish. You can pay by bank transfer, PayPal, credit or debit card, or Apple Pay. And don't forget to tick the box for gift aid if you're a UK taxpayer. The crisis cannot have failed to move you